of sand. Hey, hey, and I don't really give a and I don't really give a and I don't really give a no, I don't really give a damn. Got my pocket full of sand. I don't really give a damn. You can read it in my hand. I don't really give a damn. Got my pocket full of sand. I don't really give a damn. You can read it in my hand. I don't really give a damn. Got my pocket full of sand. I don't really give a damn. You can read it in my hand. Oh, I don't really give a damn. Got my pocket full of sand. I don't really give a damn. Got my pocket full of
I have a radical idea. We'll cross the streams.
Cross the streams.
There's definitely a very slim chance we'll survive.
I love this plan. I'm excited to be a part of it. Let's do it.
This job is definitely not worth $11,500 a year.
Well, what is up, guys? Happy New Year. Thank you for being here. The big New Year's Eve crossover show. I'm Alex McDonald with the Politek Show. For those of you who are joining us from other channels, let me bring on some guests here, joined by Mr. Chris Lowry from the Brushfire Mind. Hey, Chris, what's going on, brother? How you doing?
Well, you know, I normally drink a cup of coffee. Whoa.
There you go.
She's getting away from me.
Yes,
I got
she
some
is.
Guinness Nitro Cold Brew coffee.
Good man. I'll be grabbing a Guinness in a minute. We also got Larry Cox here from This Week from Rockdale. What's going on, Larry? Good to see you. Thank you for being here. Happy New Year.
Happy New Year to everybody. I'm here. I love that intro, Chris, as you mentioned I would when it was. I saw it. I guess you guys had put it together, but it was a great intro. I loved it.
That's right. We also have Diamond Dave Bowen, Renaissance man, author, jack of all trades. Diamond Dave, what's going on, brother? Thank you for being here. Good to see you.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year to you also. We're going to have people stopping in and out, hopefully, on this stream throughout the night. The folks from Just for Fun Radio will be headed over here at some point. Danielle will be coming in. I think Derek, my friend Derek Grimskull, will be stopping in. Hopefully David Foster, the impartial geek / the, Overland Geek, he'll be stopping in. We're also obviously going to be taking your phone calls. You'll be able to call in at 404-913-9153. And in addition to that, we're going to be inviting folks to join us on video if they want to. And you can get to us via video from any browser. Do landscape. Don't do portrait. We're not teenagers. We're not teenagers. So make sure if you use your phone, make sure it's in the landscape, not the portrait position, please. Let's be adults here after all.
Yeah, because we are professionals.
That's right. And you can do that via that link, www.thepolitekshow.live/join. And hopefully we'll get people cycling in and out. And I think we're just going to be here for the night, raising a bit of hell, going on about what's happened this past year and what we expect to see and what we hope to see for the new year. Of course, you guys throw your comments in the chat. Can everybody see the comments?
Yes, and speaking of comments, Troy Buchanan just said you guys came online right at halftime for the UGA game. Good timing. And pennies to pesos, we're flipping their show's ass.
Right.
I'm sure their halftime show is some wokest bullshit. Are they doing a vaccine dance?
Yeah, they probably are, a vaccine dance. Yeah. Thank you, Laura. So this is just so everyone knows, I'm using software that is completely new to me. Have never used this before, and I'm fairly confident in my ability to screw it up majorly. So just bear with me because I'm trying to run this thing. The reason
Egon was right. This cross streams is going to kill us for sure.
What do you mean?
The video,
the cross streams in the video.
Crossing
that
the
was
streams.
The cross streams in the Ghostbusters.
Oh yeah, that's right.
If you cross the streams, it'll just
That's right.
So Chris, explosion.
So Chris, you made that. I'm responsible for the countdown and of course mine and Danny's bumper intro. But you made the little skit with the what is that? That's the Ghostbusters, folks.
Yeah, it's the end of the first Ghostbusters movie, and earlier in the movie, of course, there's the scene where they first tackle Slimer. It's their first actual paid gig where the hotel hires them. There's that wonderful scene in the elevator where each of us is wearing an unlicensed nuclear reactor on his back, and they flip it on, and Egon kind of tries to take a step back, and it's, right. I mean, cinematographically, it's freaking genius. But obviously, we're streamers, we're streaming, and there's the joke there, and it occurred to me yesterday, and I was a little busy with some plumbing problems, so I didn't get to it until this afternoon. But when I actually pulled down the clip and started chopping up on it, it was even better than I thought it was gonna be, just because we got the whole thing. There's definitely a slim chance that we'll all survive, and then the image of blowing up 2021 and ringing in the new year by destroying the old one. We even have the panicking New Yorkers in the street, which, wow, is that apropos to current year?
Yeah, it was great. So there's Holly. Holly, you are supposed to be joining us on video. Hopefully you do. Just use the last link I sent you. Listen, this is new. This software is new to me. I don't know what the hell I'm doing with it. But Holly, use the last link I sent to you, which is this link here, thepolitekshow.live/join. You can use that and you'll get in. All right, folks, I've got some. Everybody, take a look at this comment from Troy.
I saw that.
I know
Troy
how
Buchanan.
Buchanan, right? Or who would say? Let's go around the table.
What's your name?
Definitely Buchanan.
I would say Buchanan.
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 3-1.
What's your name?
Hey, listen. I know people in West Virginia, and it's Buchanan.
Okay, well, I know people in England, and it's Buchanan.
It's also pecans too, Larry.
But here's the thing,
and I say pecans.
You don't have to walk to the plumbing.
But here's the thing. However you say your last name, that's how your last name is pronounced. Ignore me. Yeah, ignore me.
How does he say it? Does he say Buchanan or Buchanan?
I believe he says Buchanan.
That's the correct.
Hey, we've got some random Russian that just popped in here. I don't read the Cyrillic alphabet. All the little keys on the keyboard, on the calculator that you never use. But Privyetovich Kodila.
Oh, he's already blocked. Sorry, dude. I got
Oh.
blocked. I blocked him before you got to speak Russian to him.
What is Russian?
Excuse me. All right, so let's say hi to some folks while we're in here. Everybody that's tuned in, Canadian Bacon's with us. Hey, Becky, good to see you. Thank you for being here. Happy New Year. Jeffrey Kukin is with us. Good to see you, Jeff. Happy New Year. Michael Polgros is with us. Good evening, sir. Thank you for being here. Gala is with us. Hi, Gala. Happy New Year. Steve over on Steve of the Brushfire Mind, primarily, but also the Politek Show's banhammer wielder over on YouTube. Hey, Steve. Laura Williams is here. Hey, Laura. Thank you for being here. Andy Bass, bro Andy Bass is with us. Krista Ellington is here. Hi, Krista. Michelle Ivy is here. Hi, Michelle. Let me see. Patrick Brown of the Brushfire Mind is over on YouTube. I'm assuming on the BFM channel because it's coming in as a paired comment. Let me see. James Royster is here. Hey, James. Happy New Year, sir. Delisa McCarty Birch is with us. William Campbell is here. Richard Bradshaw, the humping pillow thief, is with us. What's going on, brother? Stole my humping pillow. Anarchy TV is here. Good. I watched a bit of Anarchy TV this afternoon, so thanks for being here, fellas. Jamie Wilbanks is with us. What's going on? Let me see. Who else is here?
Here, let me pick up a couple of them. I see Terry Lowry and James Lowry, Your Majesty. It's good to see my parents have joined us to watch me get drunk on live television this fine New Year's Eve.
Nothing better than
you
that.
already said hello to Patrick. I see DJ Scotty's with us out there. Y'all, you need to pop in here whenever you get a chance, brother. I see that Polak Zaluska's with us. Hey, Polak, I need my GoPros back at your next earliest convenience.
Yeah. I don't know
but
why.
I'll say this: that Polak Zaluska, he's a big sumbitch. He is one of the few men that I know that is larger than I am. Maybe only just a little bit, but he's also younger. And as such a large, young, healthy gorilla, he is a hell of a Steadicam operator.
Yeah, he is. Look who joined us. Danny's here. Hey, Danny.
Hey, fellas, what's
Danny.
happening?
Happy day, sunshine, with your pretty kitty ears.
Let's see what this does to these layouts now. No, it still doesn't fix this layout. All right, I'm just leaving it like this. Let me see. Michelle Ivy, Laura Williams, Julie Shell are all here. Thank you, ladies, for being here. Happy New Year. James, I think James Royster. I may have said hi to James already, but it doesn't matter. We can say it twice. Dan Burks is here. Hey, Dan. Rod Purvis is with us. I think maybe Chris called Rod, but welcome.
And Rod mentioned that he was in the ICU when he was watching the Brushfire Mind this morning. Brother, I hope you know we're praying for you.
Yeah, that doesn't sound good. John Simon, what's going on, brother? He says, stopping by because of Grim. This will get me upset, so I will wish you all a happy new year. All right, John, well, happy new year to you, brother. Our friendly Russian who has been blocked. Hey, friendly Russian. Princess Sandy is here. We'll be throwing up the link in a second. We'll throw up the link in a second so that Sandy can, so that anybody, quite frankly, can come in on video if they want to. I may have covered everybody. If I've missed you, I will catch you at some point. DJ Scotty's here. Scotty, I'll be throwing the link up for you in a second as well. So, boy, there are a lot of comments to keep up with here.
Hey, Ogres, Rod says he was kidding about the IC. Okay, you son of a bitch. Well, I prayed for you, which means you owe me one.
Yeah, now we're not praying for any more, you prick.
You just send one back.
Praying you won't be such a prick next time.
Real quick,
and we're off.
I grabbed these just on a lark because I'm a big coffee guy and I love me some Guinness. It's a Guinness Nitro Cold Brew Coffee. I honestly did not have especially high hopes for it. Now I'm wishing I'd have bought a lot more. This shit's dangerous.
You know, Alex, I'm going to say something. You know, you guys always kid around about that night y'all going to get kicked off of YouTube. Well, this could be that night.
Yeah, this might be that night. Listen, we're all every one of us here is familiar with YouTube and we're familiar with the rules. Hopefully we'll be careful. We'll be careful and make sure that we don't overstep too many bounds, at least.
Yeah,
All right.
I'll try, but over here at the BFM, we've been yeeted off the YouTubies 3 times this year.
Yeeted.
So we've gotten Danny and I have gotten warnings and strikes, and every strike we've had it reversed because, well, listen, we know that YouTube's process of issuing strikes is backwards. They issue the strike and then they investigate the strike, instead of doing an investigation first and then issuing a strike if it's absolutely necessary. So we've had all of ours reversed up until now. We've gotten lucky, quite frankly. Don't know how long that luck is going to hold up, but the last show that we all did together did get pulled off of YouTube. They did yank it down. That was, what was that, Danny? Wasn't that last New Year?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Last New Year got yanked. And we talked about nothing. All we did was
Did it
got
really?
boozy and acted like assholes.
Yeah. Yeah.
There was no content whatsoever.
Are we sure it's not done initially from an algorithm and then later investigated it? You know,
Well,
like
that's
an
what it is. The algorithm.
Well,
the
yeah,
algorithm
but
flags
the algorithm
it.
is explicitly designed to target people who are not basically Biden voters.
I know, but what I mean is, I think it's probably set to
Damn,
where if you
this is
say
a
certain
bad
phrase, then it flags you and knocks you down, and then you have to dispute it. And they go back and listen to it and go, "Well, he said the phrase, but he wasn't saying that. He was saying, I'm not saying this or whatever." Right?
Well, our
Sort of.
what we got dinged for, and Al obviously correct me if I'm wrong, but at least 2 of them that I know of were for showing videos that were all over the YouTubes already. So it wasn't even, and I mean, typically, let's be honest, it's going to be something that I say that's going to get us yanked. It wasn't even something that we said. It was, one of them was the that Texas school shooting fight. And Al, what was the other video?
I mean, I've lost track of them.
I know, I can't even remember, but it was, was it the Texas, dude went over to pick up his kid and the wife's boyfriend shot him.
Yeah.
The shooting video.
Yeah. So in both of those, the videos were all over the place.
The gut shot video, right?
Yeah, it was in like Lubbock or somewhere. And the dad went to pick up his kid and the kid wasn't there, got into a verbal altercation with the mom. And the mom's boyfriend came out and said, leave. And he didn't leave. And there was a shooting. But Alex said, well, anyway, not to get into the weeds of that, but yeah, both of those times it was videos that were readily available and we got dinged for showing the videos.
Yeah,
but I don't think it's because it was, if you had been CNN or MSNBC, you'd have never got flagged.
Well, that's absolutely right. And that was one of my arguments to YouTube when I disputed the thing was, the mainstream media outlets are playing these videos. Now, there was a difference that the mainstream media outlets were blurring the videos.
Not the Texas one. The Texas video we got from a Texas newspaper. I found it. That's the only place I could find it was on the newspaper. And you were very clear every time
Holly, turn your camera the other way.
Oh, hey, Holly. Hello, sister.
Hey.
Every time I told the story,
Holly.
Alex, you would stop me and say allegedly or whatever. You would couch everything I said to make it very clear that we really weren't completely sure what we were talking about. And we knew that, but we were sharing the information that was available. But yeah, no, the video that we showed came directly from the Houston Chronicle or something.
Yeah, that's right. Holly Ellison, Just for Fun Radio in the house. Hi, Holly. Happy New Year.
Happy
How you doing,
New Year to
sugar?
y'all.
Happy New Year, sister.
All right, hold on. I got DJ Scotty in the messenger sending me pictures of shit that I just can't see.
Holly,
you might not want to.
How you doing, sugar?
He's been in the peach crown. You might not want to see what he's taking pictures of.
And shooting fireworks.
Danny, what might he be taking pictures
Danny,
of? He
I
doesn't have a
tried to
mohawk on
send him
that, does he?
pictures of the tornado we had here about an hour or so ago.
Yeah, how is
Right.
everybody okay down there? I
Yeah,
saw some
yeah, I
roll
mean,
calls and it seemed like
a
our
few-
friends are
A
safe.
few cars got turned over at the Chick-fil-A down from our houses here off of 212 and Salem Road. But yeah, I mean, it was like a little after 7, started seeing stuff, and people contacted me, asked me if I was okay. And then I reached out to a few other people, and then I started seeing stuff on Facebook where some cars were turned over at that new Chick-fil-A over at 212 and Salem Road.
Well, in all fairness, Larry, it is Friday night there, so you know.
It's a wild Friday night in Conyers.
I'm on
Well,
Yeah,
I get it.
What are you doing, Holly?
the show.
2021 is not going to go out quietly.
Right.
It's not going to sit down and be polite and let 2022 come in. So
Mhm.
2021 has been a bizarre year. It's just been a crazy year.
it
Yeah.
has.
It really has. We'll start talking about that shortly when everyone gets settled here, and once we get DJ Scotty in, who's trying to navigate the minefield that is Restream Studio.
The professional broadcaster is having
Yeah.
a hard time broadcasting.
Yes. Yeah.
That's
I
okay.
think
Holly came in and
Well, it's okay.
I believe this is him, but we're not getting any. We're not getting
DJ
any-
Mofo Scotty.
hear
Did he
him.
really?
Yes, of course I
Oh.
did. What do you mean, did I really? I've been drinking Jim Beam and Coke for like the last hour.
Yeah, you have. We're not
Is that
getting
why
any
your video
video from
doesn't
you,
work?
bud.
Look, y'all got to remember my shit is set up for OBS. Y'all are asking me to like try something else for a second. So give me a second.
Just set it to your camera. And Holly, turn your camera.
I'm getting
I don't know what you did. You are.
She turned it and it
She turned
flipped
it and then
again.
turned it back again for some reason.
Yeah, I have no idea.
Mm.
I probably should go put some clothes on before I turn this camera on, huh?
I mean,
We just don't want to see your pecker.
yeah, it's
Well,
don't have
don't
to have
worry,
it
it's
covered.
under the table.
it's
At
all.
We
that-
want to know if
that's
it has a
fine.
mohawk.
No, we don't.
I will
No.
have a landing strip by tomorrow. Now that you mention it, I will do that just for you and send you the picture.
Good
I
lord.
appreciate it.
I want you to go get waxed and send us the video.
Oh, hell.
Negatory. But I'll shoot it for money.
Yeah, I can't understand this. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm not used to running it this way, so all my stuff's still connected to OBS.
Right. You just got to find the your camera in Restream Studio. If you click on the gear and click on video, you'll be able to choose a video source. You just need to pick your
Oh,
studio
there we go.
camera.
There, down at the bottom. Hang
Yeah,
on.
just pick your studio.
Underneath
camera.
the screen, there's a series of icons, and yours has a camera has got a cross through it.
Well, it didn't have a cross through it till I clicked it. That didn't help me, but I mean, I'm in the right area. I'm in the right area. Don't get me
Yeah,
wrong.
click the gear one, the
Yeah,
one that
yeah,
looks
yeah.
like a little gear.
Yeah, that's where I went. So give
Then
me
click video, and then video input. Choose your camera.
Don't do this while drinking.
Right.
Speak for yourself. I got beer and whiskey.
Just be better at it. Oh, I have a
Well,
bottle
it
of
started
Maker's
out with
Mark,
Crown, and then it went to Jim.
which you
So
can
I don't
clearly
know.
see
Yeah, I
is
thought
not
you
in
were
the
on the
sharing
peach crown.
size.
Holly, why are you sideways, honey?
Are you really gonna ask a perverted older lady who's
Has she been
full of
drinking?
tricks?
We had your video there for a second, Scotty.
I know, but it's allowing me to choose other things. So I was going to choose other things and just see what we end up with.
Okay.
So how about
Yeah,
this?
Holly's gonna turn her head and fall out of her chair. Steve, you're right.
Yeah, don't ask her to look. Don't ask her to do any more sexual stunts than she's
There
already
she is.
willing to
Hey,
do.
sister.
Okay, now turn it again, Holly, and see if it goes landscape. And if it does, just set it down and leave it be.
Are you trying to make Holly a spinner? You better stop, bad boy.
We're so
was
getting
just gonna
kicked
start
off
muting.
tonight.
There you
Listen, I'm already in like 4 violations today. One from Sony. Sony is pissed at me because I played a YouTube video, you know. So I've already went through this with Sony today, and then I had the picture from 2014, excuse me, 2015, of a man grabbing a woman's buttocks, and all of a sudden somebody's calling it nudity. Like, I just can't catch a damn break today.
Well, then Rich Archer posted it and got his fucking
Yes,
paintings all over the
I know.
wad because he got flagged for a violation by posting a violation that had already been
Of my
violated. Like,
violation.
dude,
Yeah.
come on.
Yeah.
Listen, you can post.
Picture of my
It's okay to
violation.
post a whole ass as long as you don't post an asshole.
I'm
Well,
telling
no,
you.
it was the hand grabbing the ass. I'm pretty sure is the
Yes.
issue with the sexual violation. It's not nudity.
Some woman
It's
cried wolf.
sexual content.
Yeah.
So
So
do what
then
I do, Scotty, and whittle your problems away.
yeah. Well, then I put a skull face over it, and then they've not said anything. So, I mean, what do you do? What do you do?
What do
Apparently
you do?
not that.
Right.
So I was opening OBS just to see if I can make it work because it did ask me if I wanted to use OBS, but I learned real quick not to go through that direction.
Yeah, I mean, we're seeing an OBS logo at the moment, but
Yeah, because I was because it asked, did I want to go through OBS, and I'm like, sure, let's try that. You know,
Lisa says, Scotty, push the button. That's just push the button.
listen, I am notorious for pushing the red button, so y'all better be glad I've never been anywhere near anything that says like DEFCON whatever, because my ass will push the button.
There he is.
There you are.
Yeah,
There you are. You're a little bit squished.
we're all green screen. Yeah, I don't understand it. Look, does
All right,
this
y'all.
make me look thin?
Game's back on. I gotta go. I'll be back after the game.
All
Love
right,
y'all.
Danny. See
Bye.
ya.
Yeah, that's what. Hey, you're gonna go watch them lose.
27-3. Bite my ass, bitch.
They're gonna lose. Alabama wants that. Oh, she didn't even play, did she? Yeah, I don't know why I look so thin, but hey, it's the new diet that I'm on.
Mm. You're still coming in through OBS, I assume.
No,
All right.
no, it's that's 100% webcam at this point.
Oh, is it?
Yeah,
All right. So
we've got
all the shows in the house right now. Other
baby.
than Derek from Grim Skull, he'll be here hopefully shortly.
Hey, and I finally see Diamond Dave's face. Like I hear the name, never seen him. So hey, nice to finally put a face to this.
Glad you get to see me.
Yeah.
Glad you get to see me.
Yeah, I mean, we
who
see
dropped
each
that?
other on Facebook and stuff, but
Right.
like it's different when you just see a picture of somebody and
Sure, yeah.
you don't know if it's their high school picture or their mug shot or what, you know.
I use the best one I have, baby. The one they took professionally to put on the back cover of my books. That's the one I put out there. Like I still look like that.
Are we-
I was gonna say, like I still look like that, like the girl
Yeah.
that's still sharing her prom picture
That's it, man.
on Plenty of Fish.
Right. Okay, why am I hearing beeping?
It's not me. I promise this time.
Right.
I've done enough messing up.
I don't know why we're hearing beeping. I have no idea what's going on.
Yeah, and because I'm not going
Oh.
through any software, it's like green screen. So I don't even know if I could even try
That's
to
why
figure
we're
out-
hearing beeping. We got Holly. Holly, here's what you should do.
Hang on.
You're gonna hang up. You're gonna go out of your browser. You're gonna come back into your browser, and before you click join, turn your phone into landscape mode, and then click join.
Right.
And then
right.
it should bring you in the right way up. I hope.
Mhm.
Fair
Yeah,
enough.
like when we go live on Facebook Live, if you don't turn it landscape and then hit live, you get stuck with that
Yeah, you have to turn it landscape first.
crapola.
You're stuck with that laying on the couch look.
Yeah. Don't
That's
tempt her.
right.
Do not tempt her.
That's right. I'm hearing bloop again, which generally indicates someone's trying to call in, but it's not letting me see
Somebody
anyone
else is
calling
drinking
in.
from an icy cup too.
This software takes a bit getting used to, fellas. I'll tell you that. Oh, there's Holly again. Nope, still sideways. Still kept in sideways. I don't know what's going on.
Here's to
Can you
Chris.
even hear us, Holly? We can't even hear you.
She doesn't have her volume turned on either.
Or the microphone hasn't been given permission.
Nope.
Holly, stop messing everything up.
Yeah. Alex Bleepin Jones is here. What's going on? You can Based Prism, right, Chris?
Yes.
Alex Bleepin Jones, Based Prism over on YouTube. You can find them there. Go subscribe. Thank you for tuning in. We appreciate it. We'll get this going shortly. We'll actually have a conversation right now. I think we're just all getting settled in and trying to get this. There's only one Alex. There's another damn Alex, and he's sitting right here.
Yeah, my wife's
only
watching the
real Alex.
football game, so I figured I might as well come down so I don't get tortured, by the way.
Look at
I
this.
see Kermit.
They brought his little friend. Hey, Kermit. What's going on, buddy?
Little man.
He's a good boy.
Jeff Goldblum's silent fart.
Hell
finds
yeah,
a
Jeff
way.
Goldblum.
I hope you all find a way. Yeah, I hope we do too. Thanks for being here. Thanks for tuning in. And folks, if you would listen, maybe you want to, maybe you don't want to, but all of these guys coming together, we're all over on YouTube, and you're able to find all of our channels. And if at the end of the night, once we start having conversations, if you've enjoyed the conversations, go subscribe to the channels. We all stream at different times, so there's not going to be any conflicting there won't be any conflicting with schedules there. But if you like what you hear tonight, subscribe to all the channels. And because I know, listen, we all like subscribers, don't we?
Most everybody
Absolutely.
programs. I don't. I'm a habitual caller and commentator. That's it on all the shows.
Well, you can find Dave Bowen's books on Amazon, and you can buy those and support Dave the author that way.
Yep, they're
Now,
under JD
Scotty's
Bowen.
show,
JD
my
Bowen.
show and Scotty's show have about a half hour of overlap, and usually the half hour that I overlap is when Scotty's kind of warming up and
That's what I was going to say. All I'm doing is my good mornings when he's actually doing a show. It takes me 30 minutes to get through good mornings.
Exactly. So I do my show, and we do a half hour every morning at 7:30, and DJ Scotty's on from 7:30 to I think 10. So there's a little bit of overlap there, but apart from that, you can watch all our shows, and hell, you probably don't need to watch any more TV than that.
Where's Cameron?
Cameron's working tonight.
Is he going to pop in if he gets a chance? If he
will,
is, I need
if
to
he can get off early enough, but he's probably working to at least midnight, if not 1.
If he is. By the way, any of these other, well, quite frankly, anyone in the audience, but any of these other creators that are watching that want to come on, you are more than welcome to. That's the link, thepolitekshow.live/join will get you onto the show. And we're actually going to start having conversations here at some point, but we got the whole damn night. So
I'm bringing in my guest for a second. I have a guest coming to sit in, so hang on a second.
Is it Zaley? I imagine we're about to see Zaley on the stream. Is what is about to happen here. Oh, good Lord, that is not Zaley.
No, it's my big ass ego. I figured he deserved his own spot. You know, everybody thinks I have such a great ego.
Did you? You know, it's one thing to put yourself on T-shirts, right? DJ Scotty on the T-shirt. It's another thing to have a big sex doll made up of yourself, because that's what that is. Now that has a working jaw, right?
This thing weighs like 20 pounds too.
I'm assuming that has a working jaw. Oh, look at that! We got us another.
At Christmas.
We got us another one of those Russian type. What are those?
What?
These little bots that come on and type these codes. What do those codes do, Chris? Any idea?
I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know either.
Let's not find out.
Let me. Oops, something went wrong. Okay, well that's good. Something I tried blocking that doofus, and oops, something went wrong. Okay, well never mind. I guess he's there. If there's a mod on whatever channel, I believe that person is on my channel. Steve, if you're over there, do me a favor and block that.
Hey, Cat Murphy's in the house. What's going on? Hey, Cat.
Cat Murphy, what's going on?
Peach, Jim Beam, and I think right now I went through some peach crown. I didn't want to waste all the crown once I got a buzz. I like saving it for the good stuff. So then I dropped down to Jim, and Coke with Dr. Pepper.
Yeah, you did. I can't believe you brought your other wife with you onto the show. That's amazing.
I mean, I had to bring somebody better than Holly.
Where did you find that?
Michelle Ivy actually found it for me. And then I said, oh, it's got the skull, it's got the headphones, it's got the sunglasses, it's got to have the goatee and the mohawk. So
gotcha.
I installed that. That's
okay.
That's that stuff that comes, with Velcro to put on kids' motorcycle helmets, bicycle helmets,
Yeah.
It's just
Becky,
not wide enough. I need to add like a second row next to it or something.
I thought it was a plant.
Right.
I did have a
study, the Chia Pet edition.
Dude, one time I had this really stoned drummer and a drunk guitarist look at me on stage when I had my mohawk green, and they go, man, that makes me want to tee off a golf ball.
Yeah.
I was like, I think y'all need to drink another one. This makes you want to tee off a golf ball.
Hey, Steve says, I think our hammers collide. Scotty, the five of us
in the bathroom, did we?
And everybody else out there, we need to take up a collection and buy a giant Mjolnir replica for Steve Rodemeyer. A big old hammer of the gods for our favorite cross-platform moderator.
Yeah, that's right.
And look, I had hoped, by the way, that this was going to be plastic, because if it would have been plastic, when I first seen the picture of it, I was going to cut a hole in the bottom of it where I could slip it on my head and like do stupid videos and stuff. Then when I pulled it out of her car and realized it weighs 20 pounds, I was like, this head I got weighs enough. I'm not adding that over the shoulder.
What is it made of?
It's that
silicone. What do you think it's fucking made of?
It's almost like pottery, but it's that type of material that I think like you find those white stands at like flea markets and stuff. So if you leave it in the rain, it washes away.
So it's for a mold. You're going to make a mold out of it so that you can build a silicone one.
That's what I would like to do. I'd like to have like a plastic.
So it's paper mache.
No, it's hard. Like if you dropped it, it'd shatter and it'd hurt a toe. That's for sure. But if I,
I've got a
plastic. That would
Scotty,
be. Awesome.
I've got a shitload of EVA foam. We could just put that on there, heat it to contour.
Sure,
that'd be super lightweight.
Well,
and then
sure.
we put a little wire frame in there with like a hard hat.
Oh yeah,
like
why
the
not?
Inside of a hard hat that's just like
Don't
wire
help
framed
him,
up in
Chris.
there.
Other than
oh my
matching
god,
shoes,
y'all gonna do
streak.
something. Oh my god.
The big skull streaking down, the Main Street Conyers.
Right.
They'd never realize it was me.
Yeah, they might recognize me chasing you with a camera.
No, it'd be you going, Scotty, look this way. That would be the giveaway. Or Alex.
What happened to Holly?
Holly logged off and she's in the chat. I don't think Holly could get her microphone or video.
Alex, you messed her up. You said something about her laying down on the couch, and she's now waiting on you to get there at 10:30. You should have never Holly laid out on the couch.
Sandy SPS is asking for the link. Says please leave it up for more than 10 seconds. And I think you can pin it up at the top.
Oh, I just noticed we have a little chat. It's just tiny though. I'm having a hard time reading it.
Can I pin it? No, it's just edit or remove. I can do this
with no green screen, boys. I
can
so
do this
deprived.
or nothing. But yeah, it was up there. It was up there for a while. Sandy should have had that, and then I got distracted by what Becky said. Could you handle both of us on the show? They're asking if I could handle both of the Canadians on the show. I probably could handle the entirety of Canada with both my arms tied behind my back, because Canadians are just quite frankly worse French people. But yeah, no, but both of you call it. Perfect.
Soft French. Hey, bring it on, eh?
Bring it on, eh?
Oh, we start with Canadian jokes. I forgot my piece of paper upstairs where I wrote them all down.
Bring it on, eh?
Alex, are you saying they would surrender quicker than the French?
Yes, they would. Faster than the cheese-eating surrender monkeys.
I have a great cheese-eating surrender monkey story.
Go on, then.
Okay. Every good war story starts with the same with the same words. No shit, there I was. So I'm in Afghanistan. I'm sitting in the tactical operations center, and the special phone rings, and I just happened to be the highest ranking man in the room at the time. It was the middle of the night, and I picked it up, and this is Meatwall, and the answer on the other end is a French Army captain, French Canadian Army captain, and he asked to speak to the higher up, and I told him, "Well, sir, I'm what you get. The commander and the first sergeant are both in rack. I'm it." Well, and so here's what happened. A few days earlier, they had landed a Chinook on our COP for repairs, stayed overnight, got their helicopter fixed up, took off. This is Afghanistan, a place called Sanjare, about 30 miles northwest of Kandahar. So it's middle of BF Egypt, nowhere. There's just these little mud huts dotting the ground around it. And apparently, as these French Canadians were taking off in their shit hook, one of their soldiers let his rifle fall out the door of the helicopter. And he was calling me to ask if I would put together a mission. Oh, you beautiful woman. I love you, baby.
I know you didn't say that about the Canadian, because I'm wanting to know who called immigration and said we had to have at least one Canadian.
Well, of course I said it was. Of course I told told him he was a beautiful woman. He was Canadian. Anyway, had dropped his damn rifle out the door of the helicopter as they were taking off, and didn't bother to tell anybody until the next day when they were doing muster back at Kandahar. Jesus. And so I says to this French Canadian captain on the phone, I said, let me just make sure I've got all this down correctly, sir, before I report it to my higher ups and try to put together a patrol to go and find your dropped French rifle. Did I have that correctly? You're a French speaking soldier and you dropped a rifle. And I should be expressing some surprise here, sir. Let me tell you, okay, I'm not going to put a patrol together for you, sir. I'm sorry. The facts are these. By the time it hit the ground, that weapon was useless. And the second after it became useless, having hit the ground, it was shrapnel in an IED. Guaranteed, that sumbitch is gone.
Yeah, guaranteed. Okay, Canadian Bacon down there with her phone in completely the wrong orientation. Well done, Becky. Of course. There you go. Thank you very much. Does it matter? It matters. Yeah. We're adults here. We use landscape, not portrait. And
Adults, for yourself.
Princess
I was an adult 3 drinks ago.
Canadian Bacon. Thank you for being here. Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
And Princess Sandy, thank you for being here. Happy New Year. And look at you wearing a little tiara. Oh no, I thought it was a tiara for a minute.
No.
That's great.
Look, the dog has better hair than Canadian.
That's a no shit poodle.
Scott, come on, man.
I've been drinking. That's my reason that my hair just looks like this. Okay.
I've been drinking. That's why mine looks like this.
Look at this little dude. Who is this?
The dog does have good
that is
hair.
for
I
like
do have to
pride
say
and
that.
joy.
My hair
That
did
dog
look like
does
that
have
in
good hair.
85.
That's cute. What's the dog's name?
I don't know if Sandy can hear you.
I'm not sure either. It might just be a delay. It might be a lag. Sandy, you can hear us, right? Can you hear us?
Dog's name's Abby.
Abby. Well, hi, Abby. Welcome to the show. Who did we just lost Lowry there? I'm sure.
No, I
he'll
didn't
be
go
back
anywhere. I
shortly.
just turned my camera off so I could smoke.
Oh,
Abby's
okay.
got that David Bowie hairdo.
Yeah, man. I'm telling you, I look like that in the 80s, dude. I paid good money to have a hairdo like that.
Yeah. Hey, Scott. Happy New Year. Thank you for tuning in.
Yeah,
James
Abby's got the
Figueroa,
hair
Happy New
band,
Year and
dude.
be safe. Thank you, James. Happy New Year to you too. I'm gonna grab a. I haven't even had a beer tonight. I'm just drinking water because I'm.
I done made up.
Alex, go get your drink on. Come on.
I'm going to. I have Guinness in the fridge, obviously, God's beer.
Hallelujah.
I have that in the fridge ready to go. And that's what I'll be drinking this evening. Let me put the phone number up as well so that people have access to that. And I'll leave it there for more than 10 seconds.
Alex, before you walk away, you know my mother's maiden name is McGinnis. And yes, we're those Guinnesses.
Well, if that's the case, why did I not get a giant truckload full of Guinness as a Christmas present?
Alex, did you just get coal for Christmas? Is that what it is?
I did. I got coal in this.
Nobody
shirt.
got coal for Christmas. The supply lines are shot. Santa had nothing.
True. That's right. That's right. I got coal in this DJ Scotty shirt that I had to pay for. Well, actually, Danielle paid for it.
I sent you a
What are
present.
you trying to say? You gave me a jar of pickles.
I didn't even get a silicone DJ Scotty skull that I could have sex with.
Well, it's bad
Scotty,
enough that still in my
pickles.
Scotty has
Pickles
that
are
from-
currently a much more valuable currency than U.S. dollars.
Scotty kept the humping skull all to himself.
I sent you a present, Alex.
You did. Dave sent out some handmade, hand whittled, I should say. Whittling, right? That's right.
Whittling, that's it. That's what I was doing before you called. I was making this little guy.
Oh, thank God.
Oh, look
He
at
said
this thing.
Whittling. I wasn't sure where we were going.
Look at that. Let me bring that up. What's that made of, Dave?
That is made of basswood.
Basswood.
Yeah.
That's cute. It's a little teddy bear or something.
Little bear. I'm just still working on him.
More patience than me. I wish I had the patience to do that.
He's pudgy. He's as fat as DJ Scotty. Oh,
I'd say that.
It's President G.
I mean, he's still got a little more gut he could get.
That's true. It's true. He's got a ways to go. Although I can't speak. I'm gaining a lot of weight here lately.
I only
It's
ate 4 pieces
ridiculous.
of cake today, knowing it was my last day.
Dave, paint him a little red shirt with a sunshine on it, and you can name him Xi Jinping.
Oh yeah. Yes. Yeah. Sandy,
Just a
yeah,
little
if you have Facebook open and the video playing, then you're probably going to get audio loop back, and it's going to be and it would be really hard on your ears, and I imagine that's exactly what was happening. So Becky,
Yeah,
what
I
have you
have it
been
on
up
my
to?
phone. I'm video chatting on my phone. I have my computer in front of me, and then I have my TV on as well. So, but I'm not listening to anything but the phone, and the phone's really quiet.
Well, yeah, I mean, you've got to be able to hear people talking to you, obviously, but what you don't want is the show running in the background, because we get this all the time with callers, right? We have people call in, and I don't know why, but for some unknown reason, oh, for fuck.
I needed a little.
I'm telling you, Scotty, we got to do the Annalise roulette taste testing.
The Annalise video.
It's like calling the radio station with your car radio still on the channel, listening.
Exactly.
To
I have to do it every morning. It's funny listening to the echo.
That's right. But for some reason, human beings forget how to use a phone when they call into either a radio show or a live talk show. They listen on the radio while they're trying to talk on the phone, and there's like this 30-second delay between you saying something and them saying something, because they're waiting to hear you or hear them on the radio, and it's kind of crazy. Ken Holmes has put an entire novel in the chat.
What the hell?
So I'm going to bring it up.
A joke? I mean, it's not really a joke, right?
Oh, I can't even bring it up. It won't even show the whole thing on the screen.
It won't show the first paragraph.
Yeah. Yeah. Good Lord. That is
One of your buddies?
It is a massive comment. Let me see. Someone's
I think
trying
it's a joke.
to come in.
Well, I mean, I didn't
Sandy
know if he
again.
was one of your buddies, or that's just one of those guys that shows up like somebody showed up on my show telling me to check out their hip hop show. And I'm like,
Oh no, Ken is the first vice chair. First vice chair of the Rockdale Republican Party. Okay, let's see if this goes a little better with Sandy. Sandy, you can hear us okay?
Much better.
Okay, there you go. Perfect. All right, Chris, I'm going to run and grab a beer. Chris, you take over, bud. I'll be back in a second.
Okay, and when you come back, let's just invite Ken Holmes to come on the video and have him read his joke to us.
Oh,
All
yeah,
right.
a lot more.
That's what we'll do. Someone share the
Enjoyable.
link. Someone share the link in the chat. Thank you.
I'll take care of that. And okay, so Alex nominally left me in charge, but to be clear, I don't have enough. I don't have control over the organization stuff here, so I'm not gonna be able to change the screens and focus on anybody. But I can certainly facilitate conversation. And you know what? I won't feel guilty if the conversation gets more interesting while Alex isn't here.
Well, I mean, it's not that hard to say.
But I'll tell you what. How about this?
I saw Bacon laugh at that one.
Why don't we have a conversation about New Year's resolutions? And before you answer, remember, there's nothing that says your resolutions cannot be for evil. Anybody got something they want to share on that?
I am resolute about not promising shit.
That's right.
Is that like giving up Lent for Lent?
I'm making resolutions.
I make no promises. I don't know what tomorrow's going to bring, but I'm making no promises about how I handle it.
I'm going to go see a therapist or a psychiatrist, probably a psychiatrist because he can prescribe me drugs. I'm going to go see a psychiatrist about the things I feel guilty about and see if they can cure me of feeling guilty about that shit.
Oh, I can help with your guilt.
I mean, you know what I'm saying? Like, if I don't feel guilty about it, then it's not really bothering me.
Hey, Alex.
I mean,
Alex,
the question I would have for that is does DJ Scotty feel guilt?
Really,
No.
It really depends on the question. What am I feeling guilty about? That would be the
exactly.
Big...
Hold on. Really, that question coming from you, Alex, seems a little loaded, don't you think?
Doesn't it?
What do you mean? No, listen, I don't feel guilt. I
No
honestly,
kidding.
I mean, I guess I do about some things, but
Listen,
not
if
about
me
most
and
things.
Alex had to interview each other, it'd be like Jeffrey Dahmer interviewing Charles Manson. Like, it's what kind of interview is this?
Christ.
Yeah. Sorry, I have to refill.
Well, speaking of refill, hey Alex, will you make me big for a minute? I want to show off and brag about my wife.
Make me big.
I mean, I'll talk to you sexy. I imagine that'll work.
I don't know if you can.
How you doing, shit?
Make him big, Alex. Make him big, Alex.
So big enough for you, big boy?
My wife stuck in the studio a minute ago because she knows I'm down here drinking, and she loves me. So she did this special thing. She brought me my special whiskey coolers, and I just wanted to show those off and brag about how my dear wife got me those for Christmas last year. No, I'm sorry, for Father's Day this year, and it is a six-shooter revolver cylinder with 6 steel bullets that are going in my whiskey.
Very nice. Very nice.
And I thought this audience and this crew would appreciate
Your
that.
Second Amendment whiskey rocks.
Hallelujah. And maybe I should break these out one Firearms Friday morning because you can't drink bourbon all day unless you start in the morning.
That's right. You can't drink all day unless you start in the morning. That's absolutely right. Are those? I mean, that was an odd caliber for a revolver cylinder, Chris. What are those based on? They're bigger than 7.62.
Oh, they're substantially bigger than 7.62. They're not any
like
legitimate
50s.
caliber.
Yeah,
they're
look like
not any legitimate caliber. They're
Okay.
they're whiskey stones. They're liquor stones. They're just
but they're not size matched to a particular caliber.
They look like the size that go in my 7mm.
If you was walking around with a revolver that ran these shells through it, it would eat your fucking lunch.
Yes. I got a Browning BAR 7 mag, and they look like those.
See, I need to go pick up a gun for this bad boy because it's just sitting here unshot.
That's a big
So
one.
there's a 50.
And yeah, that's the scary, dangerous one that comes out of those evil AR-15s. Is this little guy?
323.
And this is what Maxine Waters apparently thinks that rifle
Yeah,
shoots.
that's what she thinks they. That's what she thinks they shoot.
She is somewhat off the mark.
Yeah. Do you have anything that will shoot a 50 BMG?
I don't know.
No, me either.
A hammer.
I have an airsoft replica of an M99 Snow Wolf, but it's an airsoft replica. It's for movie making and playing games in the woods.
Right.
Scary
I like a
shit
bit of
out of your
airsoft.
neighbor.
But I tell you what, though, it's a professional training replica model, so it is weight correct. And taking it out to play a game in the woods, that's some bitch. It is the same as humping that pig up a hill in real combat. It's heavy.
Mm,
About 27, 28 pounds.
wow.
So what
Hey,
are we
Laura.
doing, Alex? Are we going to do the year in review here? Is that the idea?
Yeah. Let's talk about. Let's get a conversation going. And I think the best question to start it off with, and we'll just go around. What was in your mind? What was the story that stood out to you the most in 2021? Either the craziest thing or the what you think might have been the most important story of 2021. Who wants to kick it off?
Oh, Sandy, I think you should.
Okay, fuck. Well, the January 6th bullshit. I was
Yep.
there. And I stood with thousands of people shoulder to shoulder. And I got to tell you, there was nothing threatening in that crowd. I was proud to be there to support whatever we could. But, I didn't go down to the Capitol, thank God. But I don't know. And just the whole Capitol riot, insurrection bullshit. That just.
Yep, I agree. That was going to be mine, and I'll tell you why. Because it was that Capitol riot that kicked off something that we've talked about on the show over and over, the current war on conservatism, the current war on the right that is being waged by Democrats and the mainstream media. We see the evidence of it constantly, continually. Dani and I present that evidence whenever it rears its ugly head. And I think January 6th was the catalyst for all of that. It's what the left were waiting for. They were just praying something like that would happen so that they could use it against the right. And I'll tell you what, agree. I imagine most people agree with me. They're very good at it. They are very good at waging their little social wars against the right.
I think
Never
they
let a
did
crisis
more
go
than
to
pray
waste.
for it. I think they assisted in it.
Oh,
Yes.
Yeah.
Definitely.
And I was gonna say, if there is a story bigger and more important than the January 6th occurrence, it is that we now have concrete evidence as a result. By the way, this is ironic and fascinating. As a result of the January 6th investigative commission, we now have conclusive evidence that there was no major organization that amounts to what would otherwise be an insurrection by definition, and that's per the FBI's own testimony. And more importantly, that a large number of the explicit instigators, people that were screaming things like, let's go in and tear shit up, who were actively instigating and attempting to instigate violence, turned out to be FBI plants.
Right.
Turned out to actually be FBI. And so we did a whole show on this, what was it, Alex? Maybe 3-4 days ago, where we pointed out, seeing that, like the Revolver article that talks about, that points out the various moles, the FBI agents that were involved in orchestrating and trying to make January 6th become something bigger and much more dangerous and deadly than it was. Seeing information like that come out might not have been terribly convincing. You might have looked at that before and said, "Oh no, you're a tinfoil hat nut job conspiracy theorist." Except that we just saw the Rittenhouse trial where the prosecutor and the FBI were in collusion together to fabricate and suppress evidence for the clear and explicit purpose of causing a young man who was clearly innocent, who clearly defended himself against armed Democrat National Committee funded multiple repeat offending criminals. And just before that, we had all the evidence that the so-called Gretchen Whitmer kidnapping scheme was almost entirely an FBI plot to set up some patsies to create the idea that there was a scheme to begin with, which there was not without the involvement of nearly a dozen FBI agents and informants.
Right.
So if it hadn't been for those other pieces, and of course, you can look back on all the evidence that came out because of the Ukraine investigation and impeachment, and you look back at the Russia investigation and everything that came out from there, and all the collusion between DNC activists and the actual Clinton campaign and the United States government and intelligence community, and say, well, I might have thought the idea that January 6th was an FBI job was crazy, except that I've got the last 5-6 years, and that's without going into the last 30 years of deep shit, to say, no, this isn't just a thing that the FBI is capable of. It's a thing that they do repeatedly and consistently.
Yeah, this guy who remembers this fella here. Remember this guy, this Capitol Police officer? He's guess where he's going to work?
CNN.
The FBI.
He's going to work for CNN.
That's not surprising, is it?
He's been hired as a a consultant or a contributor or something for CNN.
But they catch him in a porn theater.
That's right. That's right. Oh shit.
He was
It's
outside
the gateway perversion.
He was outside the schoolyard.
Yes.
Yeah, straight from Pee Wee's Playhouse to Epstein's Island.
That's right.
That's
And
right.
CNN is the last stop on that road.
I'll tell you, Alex, my favorite thing, if that's what we're calling it, it wasn't a single event. It was kind of over the whole year, especially the last half of the year, would be the verdicts that have been coming down from these big trials where normally the politics would be at play, work, and we'd get a wrong verdict. But lately, the past, 5 or 6 trials I've been watching closely have gone the way they should. From Smollett to Rittenhouse to Ghislaine Maxwell, whatever her name is. The Aubrey, there's, the other kid down in Florida. There's just been a lot of them that have just gone the way they should, where justice was actually, justice prevailed.
Yeah.
And we haven't seen a lot of that lately. Even when Trump was, especially when Trump was in office, they were fighting back against conservatives and conservative values so hard that anything that came up politically that would have served the Democrats for a bad verdict, they got it. But lately, this year, I've been seeing them fall like dominoes, and every time I'm like, "Yep, that's it. They got it. Justice was served." So that really sticks out to me over the past year as a positive.
Yeah, for me, as January 6th has been taken, I'm going to say with a very broad brushstroke, let's go, Brandon. And what I mean by that is the fact that the right are now pushing back. The right have found their voice, and that, listen, it's by way of a meme, obviously, but the right have always been better at memeing than the left. But they found their voice and they're starting to push back. But it's not just the right. If you look at this, just look at that one "Let's Go Brandon" meme. It's everybody.
Even Joe Biden.
Even Joe Biden himself agrees. Let's go, Brandon. Now, we're going to talk about this on Monday, but there is currently an absolute leftist media meltdown taking place. So after 4 years of fuck Trump, now they're upset because let's go, Brandon. It's a slur. It's a slur. And the only reason they're not calling it a racial slur is because obviously Joe Biden is white. But the media are having an absolute meltdown because it's successful, it's working, it's caught the public's imagination, it's caught the public consciousness, it's in the zeitgeist now, and it terrifies the left and it terrifies the media, and it's the beginning of the right fighting back. And this is what I've been saying all year. This war on conservatism, you've got to call it out when you see it, and you have to push back. You have to push back ideologically, not violently. You don't have to use force to push back. You just come up with something like this, and damn it, it was handed to us on a platter by an MSNBC, of all people, an NBC reporter covering NASCAR, handed it to us on a platter. Listen to that crowd chanting, "Let's go, Brandon." It was absolutely amazing. The right have finally found their voice. They're finally pushing back. The problem is, it's not our elected representatives doing the pushing back.
And you're right, buddy. The media has just acted like, I mean, Kathy Griffin can hold up a bloody Trump head. You know, Madonna can talk about blowing up the White House. Johnny Depp can talk about assassinating another president. And Snoop Dogg can make a fucking video actually doing it. And that it's crickets from the media. Right. One guy says, "Let's go, Brandon," on a phone call to NORAD, and they're losing their damn minds.
Yeah, everybody's going crazy. Yeah, it's absolutely amazing. I'm working on, by the way, I'm working on trying to get Jared on the show.
That'd be great.
It would be fantastic. And hey, listen, we'll see what happens. He's in a lot of demand right now, and small shows like ours aren't his priority. But I'm trying to make it happen, and we'll see where that goes. But yeah, I'd love to get him on. It'd be a lot of fun.
I got to put my.
I just saw Jeff Duran pop in. I was like, "Holy shit, it's Jeff Dunham!" Oh wait, no. I was like, "Bring on the puppets!"
Yeah. Larry,
you know, Al, I've got a story that I think is a non-story. And you know what? Right after the election, everybody was saying that they felt that Joe Biden wouldn't remain president for long. They would 25th Amendment him. And I've always said that he would be the perfect, even if he's dead, he won't be dead. He'll be Weekend at Bernie's. And I think we have seen that the puppet masters behind the scene have got their perfect puppet, that they finally got elected president. And he's not going anywhere. As long as they can keep blood pumping through that corpse, he's going to be president of the United States. That's, to me, the biggest story is he's still president of the United States.
Yep.
Nobody, and there was never an attempt, like everyone thought. It's totally apparent he's not mentally capable of being president of the United States. I mean, anybody that tries to even deny that fact, you're delusional. But the fact that these folks behind the scenes, they've got their perfect puppet to be president of the United States. And as long as they can keep blood flowing through him and it appears that he's a walking corpse, he's going to be president.
He will stay president of the United States. Yep, probably. Scotty, you got anything that jumped out at you this past year? Well, I mean, your personal story.
You already know it's called waking up in the hospital, not really sure you're alive. That was pretty good for me.
Yeah, that was a biggie for you.
I don't know if anything tops that.
It was a biggie for all of us.
Yeah,
it was. Yeah.
I mean, honestly, anybody could say anything that they saw happen across the media, or I just don't think anything's going to top mine. And I don't mean for y'all. I mean for me. I don't think anything I've experienced or seen or bared witness to tops, what I went through. I mean, there's a lot of stories that I haven't talked publicly about on my morning show because it's a little depressing. But there is a homosexual man who is not quite a doctor. He's called a PA. He's a physician's assistant who sat back kind of like this, and I was on oxygen, and he was demanding for me to answer his questions, and I couldn't breathe. And he stood up and walked behind me and turned my oxygen off and sat down in front of me and grabbed his little, his little RuPaul clipboard and looked at me and says, I guess you're going to answer my questions now, as I was going, and literally I was dying. So I look forward to the day that, I bump into him at the Walmart.
When does that lawsuit start?
I'm looking for, actually, I will ask any of y'all if y'all know of a really good lawyer. I'm looking for a lawyer right now. Because literally what he did to me was absolutely disgusting as a human being. I left the hospital and a lot of my PTSD issues are now gone. I don't have a lot of hate for people in the world anymore just because
I can help you with that.
Send Lowry over to see him.
Yeah.
Pathetic people are now, like absolutely pathetic. So I don't waste energy on these people. But that one particular 5 foot tall man, I have a feeling that it's probably a good thing he had a mask on, and I'll forever be haunted by his eyes and pray to God I never get close enough to see his eyes again. I mean, other than that, waking up in the hospital the first day coming off of all the drugs after being asleep for 4 days, I really wasn't sure I was actually alive.
Yeah, that was a lot. That was, listen, it was a lot for us. I can't even imagine what it was for you and what you were going through there. It was difficult for every single one of us to see you in that position.
Yeah, and I'm not trying to ride my train any longer than I already have, but I'm just saying that was, when we talk about what happened out of the year, that pretty well did it for me.
Sure.
Can't wait for 2022.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it
got
also
a solid gold dancer behind you.
I swear she really does believe that.
It also leads us into that conversation anyway, because we can't talk about 2021 without talking about it being year 2 of 2 weeks to stop the spread.
Right.
Because that's what it was. It was the second year of restrictions and lockdowns. Unfortunately, it was the year governed by Joe Biden, the year that absolutely pummeled our economy, destroyed people's wealth, ruined people's lives, put so many people out of work.
Right.
It was a shitty year caused by pure incompetence.
Yeah, only 104 weeks to stop the spread.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, Alex, you remember when we first started talking about this back in actually 19.
Yep.
Right.
And then 20, and when we talked about it going to be a pandemic similar to the flu of 1918, I said at the time it's going to be at least a 3-year ordeal because we had something historically to look at. The 1918 epidemic was a 3-year ordeal, and a lot of people aren't aware of this. Chris Lowry probably is, but the flu is actually what ended World War I because the soldiers were too sick to fight. That's what forced the armistice. It was actually that the flu got so bad, the armies were, they were dying. The flu just had them all incapacitated. They couldn't fight a war, so they had to quit.
What are we on like day 700 now?
I mean, we're deep into it.
I mean, I think we'll be deep into 22. I think it'll be late third quarter, early fourth quarter before it's.
Do we think that this Omicron variant is the beginning of the end?
I think it is.
I don't
want to go to what? Rephrase that so I know exactly what you mean by that.
The beginning of the end of COVID in general, of restrictions, of mask mandates, of all the bullshit that's come along with this virus. Do we think that Omicron is the beginning of the end of it? The fact that the virus appears to have mutated to a highly infectious yet remarkably weak variant.
Right.
Is indicative of the death throes of a virus, and that we might be coming out on the other side of this, and that the authoritarians are going to have to loosen their grasp on the proletariat
and create something else, is what
I think it should be, because you're exactly right. That's exactly what it is. It's now doing what viruses do. It's getting spreadier and spreadier and weaker, and people are getting a hive or herd immunity but I don't think they're going to let it. I think they're going to scream from the rooftops. It's going to kill everybody. You're all, like Biden. We wish you all you unvaccinated a merry dead Christmas and all your relatives. They're going to blow the whistle as loud as they can until the 2022 election. They want mail-in voting again, and they're going to.
I don't think they're going to get
the Zeta variant to get that. They will.
I don't think they're going to get that. I think that we're going to have the Omicron will come through. People are just we would get a variant that would be bad again or whatever. People are tired of it. I mean, they're just ready to, give me the stuff and let's get it over with. People,
I agree, but there's a difference between what the people think and what the government will do.
Well, but there's also a time period when people just quit listening to the government, and I think we're about at that point.
Yeah, but they're going to be the ones to decide whether we mail in vote in 2022 midterms or not. And I think
you're going to have states that are going to do it, and you'll have states that Georgia's not going to be one of them states. Not going to happen in Georgia.
I mean, Stacey Abrams has anything to say about it.
I mean, I was going to say that's a big assumption. We don't know what's going to happen in the. We have a feeling we know what's going to happen in the 2022 election here, but I mean, if there's a flip, if Georgia does flip blue, then I absolutely believe that the restrictions will be forced on us here.
Oh yeah,
yeah, but that would be in 23, Alex. It wouldn't be not be in 22.
That's true. That would be 23.
Yeah, it would be 23. It's going to be well done by then.
I don't know if the government's willing to, right? But to us, right? To us looking at it, I mean, I look at it now. I'm vaccinated. I've had 2 shots. So I'm not even considered fully vaccinated because I haven't had the booster. And there's a good chance I'm not even going to get the booster. I believe I'm coming down with COVID. I have a lot of the symptoms of COVID. And even now, I'm probably not going to bother with a booster shot because at this point, what is the point? If I'm still going to get COVID anyway, what's the damn point? So I'm probably not even going to bother with the booster. So to us, to your layman, to your average American, we may say, you know what, it's over and done with. But the government is going to be very hesitant to release the grasp, the authority that they've granted themselves during this pandemic. It's going to be awfully difficult for them to give that up and hand liberty back to the American citizens.
More than hesitant, they're going to be screaming the theaters on fire until the day of voting, and they're going to demand that we have to do the mail-in voting because of that. Believe me, like I said, if they have to call it the Zeta variant, they will, even if there's not one out there. They're going to
but they won't call it the G variant.
Right.
So I agree. I think you're gonna have to put them in a headlock. And maybe Larry's right. Maybe everybody's just had enough. But I don't think us having enough is enough to stop them.
I think in Georgia having enough is enough because they're all just terrified of not getting real. I mean, right now I can just tell you right now. I know incumbents that are getting challengers that are going to the challengers trying to talk the challengers out of not running. They're going to their consultants and getting their consultants to drop them as clients. They're going to people who are going to pick them up as advisors and trying to talk them out of not taking. They are so terrified of patriot type candidates running against incumbents. They're terrified right now because they know the voters are going to speak loudly at the polls. It's going to happen.
But all the states don't have to do it. Only the swing states, and that's enough.
That's 24. That's not 22.
So that's
not 22.
The only thing that's going to stop a massive red wave next year is that the Democrats like Democrats. A lot of them don't like Joe, but they still like their Democrats. The only criticism we're hearing out of the lefties about the Democrats in power is that they're not doing enough psychotic wokist garbage.
Yeah, but you got to remember, 23 of them have already decided not to run again. 23 Democrats.
Correct. And that's going to bring them an ass whooping. But you look at the other side, you look at our side of the aisle, and guys like me are becoming more and more common. I vote Republican only because the Republican Party at the state and national level fucks everything up just a little slower. The fact of the matter is, the best we can hope for from any Republicans that are whose name you can bring off the top of your head right now is that they'll hold a seat from getting a Democrat in it, and they'll sit there and they will do nothing to serve the constituency. The best you can hope for is that they will slow down the train wreck that is the Democrat Party. You're not going to see one of them work seriously to repeal gun laws. You're not going to see one of them work seriously to buttress our First Amendment right or any other part of the Constitution. You're going to see them sit there with their thumbs in their ass and soak up lobby money and not do the things we expect them to do. And to be quite clear, the things that we should expect them to do is to shrink the government. The thing that made Donald Trump a great president is that he came in and he took a red Sharpie like a machete and started slashing regulations. And that's what gave us $1.50 gas, lowest in history unemployment across almost all demographics, an absolutely explosive booming economy, and the near complete annihilation of terrorist organizations in the Middle East.
This is where what Larry said comes into play, though, because all of these Republican lawmakers that aren't they're no, you're right, Chris. I don't disagree with you. They're not willing to fight. They're not going to fight to give us our gun rights back. They're not going to fight to give us anything back. And this is why so many Republicans right now in record numbers are facing primaries from grassroots candidates. I don't want to say Tea Party candidates, but it's very reminiscent
they're not
of the
Tea Party candidates.
I know, but
They're
it's
not
reminiscent of the Tea Party movement, is it not? They're grassroots
no,
candidates.
I think it's even different than that. I mean,
It's a
I actually
populist.
think they're
It's
more
a populist drive,
constitutionalist.
though.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, but it's a populist. It's effectively. Revolution's a big word, but it's on a major scale.
But it's
Yeah,
coming
but
out
it's
of
a
the
pretty
shadows like
word.
that. You're right, Alex. It's coming out of the shadows like the Tea Party did.
Yes, and
Yeah,
these incumbents are
and
terrified.
they're mostly constitutional conservatives, is
Yeah.
what they actually are.
Yeah,
Yep.
and the incumbents are terrified of it.
And one quick reference, these kind of politicians and all that. One quick reference relative to the Second Amendment. This is why I keep a 50 Maudus machine gun round on my desk.
Yeah, that's right.
I agree with Chris. Go ahead, Larry.
And I'll tell you, I mean, I'm just going to speak frankly about it. I've actually stepped in, and I'm actually going to help two candidates run for office that couldn't hire consultants, because one of them had a top consulting firm in the state of Georgia working for them, and they dropped them because they were pressured to drop this candidate because they felt this candidate actually had a chance of beating this incumbent.
Right.
So I've stepped in, and I'm helping, I'm helping a couple of candidates, and I could probably get more business if I wanted it. But, just being frank about it, I was planning on opening up a consulting firm in 24, but I'm doing some freelance this year because it's just the opportunities there, because the political system is just so corrupt, because they try to keep people from running for office that may be able to institute change. And that's where we've got to stop this, because they don't want to give them access to advertising, access to campaign strategy, or anybody who actually knows the political system and how to run a campaign.
Right.
And that's the angle that we should have these guys campaigning on. Those are the videos that we need to make. That's the message that we need to put out there. Listen, the Republicans that you've been allowed to vote for are wholly inadequate.
Right. And one of the biggest Republican consultants, Mark Roundtree, And there was even an AJC article that Roundtree in the past decade has advised candidates who were Democrats to run as Republicans because they could not get elected as Democrats. So how many of those supposedly people that are in the legislature now that have R's behind their names really have the Democratic ideology that they're actually practicing? That's why you can't get a constitutional carry passed in Georgia, because even though they say we have the majority, we don't have the majority.
We don't
We're
have the
minority.
majority. I mean, look at Ralston. Ralston was a Democrat.
He still is a Democrat.
Oh, he still is a Democrat. Obviously.
They're all Liz Cheney's and Adam Kinzinger's.
Yeah.
I mean, and I say a lot of like, I'm a chairman of a county party. I say these kind of things, and people in the party cringe when I talk and say these kind of things because I don't hold back.
Right.
And,
Well, so you and I both, Larry. Larry's the chairman of the party. I'm the communications director of the Rockdale Republican Party. And we both say the same things, and we say them to our elected officials. Our elected officials know that we're pissed off with them for not fighting for our conservative values. They know that they know enough that Larry is now. I don't know how much I can say, Larry, so cut me off if I say too much. They know that we're so upset with their lack of action that Larry is now managing. Can I say this? Managing the campaign of a candidate who is opposing our sitting senator.
I'm managing real quick. Brett Malden's campaign.
The other half of the BFM just popped in, man.
Yeah, he did. Hey, Cameron, what's going on, brother?
Yeah. Hey, happy New Year, brother.
I'm managing Brett Malden's campaign. He is running against Brian Strickland in Senate 17. And one of the reasons, and I had the conversation, Senator Strickland and I discussed it, and I talked to him about me representing Brett. And one of the things is I felt everybody deserved the ability to have somebody who knows the system and how to run campaigns. And he had a top consulting firm in the state of Georgia walked off because, the governor's team put pressure on him to step away. And then that happened. And what I told Strickland was, you guys have been in charge of this legislature for nearly 2 decades, have failed to pass what I consider basic conservative legislation. And you always use the excuse it's too controversial. Well, it's not controversial for Republicans. It's controversial for Democrats. We wouldn't care that you pass. We elected you guys to pass conservative legislation, and yet you won't. And you've had clear majorities for nearly 2 decades.
Right.
So the message is there, is it not, Alex? I mean, even though the numbers say we have a majority, we don't have a majority.
Yeah, no, we don't. It's loud and clear. And again, that's why so many of these grassroots constitutionalist populist candidates are doing well. And they have appeal, and people are listening to them. Let's talk about. Listen, Larry and I. We differ on one of the candidates, Vernon Jones. Well, we agree on one thing. He cannot get elected and he won't win this race. But he is he fits that mold of a populist candidate. Now, listen, does he happen to say the right things to appeal to people? Sure, of course he does. He's a professional politician. He knows exactly what he's doing. But he's indicative of this populist movement on the right that's taking place right now. But the bigger question is, we know right now, after a year of Joe Biden, after another year of restrictions, after all the inflation, the supply chain issues, all the cost increases to us, after the election of after the 2020 election, we know that Republicans are motivated. The question now becomes,
look at Virginia and New Jersey both, correct?
Exactly. The question now becomes, how motivated are Democrats? They've had to live through the same pain that we've lived through. Are they motivated enough to stave off a red wave? Larry, I think we lost you, bud. We did. Fellas, let me ask you, Cameron, you're new to the conversation. Are the Democrats motivated enough to stave off what I think is an inevitable red wave?
Probably not. I mean, historically speaking, the party that is quote unquote in power always suffers some kind of losses in the midterms. So I'm sort of expecting it to be, fait accompli at this point.
Mhm.
And
Don't be
it's just
talking
been,
French.
and it's just so,
Yeah, we got rid of the Canadians
Yeah.
and it's just so
from
hard.
the show, not generally.
And it's so hard to ignore just how bad things have gotten. Like you can't, certain things like how much milk costs, how much a gallon of gas costs. Like if you, the average person that doesn't know shit about politics, you start punching them in the wallet and they start taking a notice. So do I think it's going to be this huge, massive red wave? Maybe not.
Now, bear in mind, 6 points would be massive.
And 23 Democrats are not running again.
Yeah.
Which is great, but I mean, we had the ultimate mandate in 2016, and because of a obviously fake hoax with regard to a Russian theft of our election, it all got blown out of the water. Obamacare didn't go away. For example, that was one of the big campaign promises from Trump. And it's not even his fault that Paul Ryan was a coward and refused to do his job as Speaker of the Republican House.
Part of the problem there was you when you say you're going to get rid of something, you have to replace it with something. Republicans never had a replacement.
It was repeal and replace, and they never had a replacement.
You don't replace cancer with a different type of cancer. I fundamentally reject that argument. Yes, I fundamentally reject that argument.
I understand.
You can fundamentally reject all you want, but you have to replace it with something.
Right?
No, the left is unencumbered by that kind of thinking. The left is not afraid to go big, go bold, or go home.
You're absolutely right, but the Republicans didn't run on repeal. They ran on repeal and replace. And when they ran on that premise, they listen, whether we believe they should deliver on that premise or not, or whether they should just strip it, they should do what they say they're going to do, and they didn't. And not only did they not repeal it, they never even made an attempt to come up with any kind of replacement. We do have a caller on the line. I think it's Troy. Let's bring him on. This would be a good test.
Y'all, I gotta go back to work, but I just had to drop in. I knew it was going to be on fire tonight.
Happy New Year, brother.
All right, brother. Happy New Year.
Happy New Year to y'all.
Troy, is it Troy?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Buchanan. It's the way I say it. You say Buchanan.
I know.
Well,
Troy Buchanan.
However you say it.
Kingdom.
Everybody hold on. However you say it, Troy, is how I'm going to say it. So Troy Buchanan's on the phone. And this is going to be a good test because I'm using a new system. You guys tell me if you can hear Troy, and Troy, tell me if you can hear the fellas.
I can hear the talent.
I hear Troy.
Hi, Troy.
Scotty's just kind of kicked back, leaning back.
Yeah, Scotty's in
what's going on.
Scotty's drinking, enjoying the conversation. All right, Troy Buchanan, what's going on, brother? How you doing? Happy New Year.
Y'all are interrupt. This is politics is interrupting my Georgia game. I'm kind of upset about this, but I'll say this: if Georgia would have voted the way they voted for Trump, there would not be a Democrat Senate. I'll say that right now.
Well,
I
and
mean,
if
here's-
Kemp
here's-
was a pussy,
I think it. I absolutely think it's bad politics. I didn't think for Vernon Jones. I'm not voting for Vernon. I like what he had to say.
But there's a flaw in there's a flaw in your argument. The flaw is Trump did not win Georgia. So if
he didn't.
Right. So
he didn't. But they may not have voted for Trump. But the statistics say, and excuse me, I've been drinking a little bit. The statistics say
that's fine.
People that
us too, baby.
I've been drinking a lot. I'm finna crack open fifth number 2. But the statistics say that David Perdue and I even don't even like to say it, Kelly Loeffler, if everybody would have showed up and voted for Trump and voted in the runoff, we wouldn't have Ossoff or Thomas Walnut.
He's correct with that statement.
Sure.
Now, and that's from Eric Erickson.
Yeah.
That's what the statistics say.
Yeah, but here's the thing.
I don't agree. I don't agree this is a flip state right now. I think this is still a very conservative state.
We'll talk to Larry about that in a second because Larry's privy to numbers that none of us are. But let me ask you this: why are you listening to Eric Erickson talk about this when Erickson was one of the leading voices opposing Donald Trump in Georgia?
Yeah.
That's what he's saying.
2016 it was.
Eric Erickson believes this.
2016 it was. In 2020, he was a leading proponent of Trump, as was Sean Hannity. Now, I don't agree with Dave Perdue throwing his hat in the ring for governor. I think that absolutely does put this state in jeopardy, and I'll tell you why.
Okay.
Our current governor has beat Stacey Abrams, and he beat her. He didn't just beat her; he beat her on a runoff. He didn't beat her on a runoff. She was just trying to get a runoff. You understand what I'm saying?
I'm trying.
Yeah. This is good.
Brian
go
Kemp
further.
Brian Kemp beat Stacey Abrams straight up. And what she was saying, she said she's the governor of Georgia. That's what she says.
Right.
She was elected governor. She wasn't. Brian Kemp got 50% plus one vote. And in order, in a runoff in this state, to get a runoff in this state, you have to be less than 50% on both sides. And Brian Kemp stomped her ass.
He didn't. He beat her by a marginal. It was a marginal victory, and for a red.
He beat her by this much.
He beat her enough to avoid a runoff.
Yeah, absolutely. I don't disagree with you there, but it was in a red state, and he didn't come anywhere close to the performance that we expected him to achieve, and that raised a lot of concerns.
He didn't.
He didn't.
He didn't.
Kemp didn't. Kemp underperformed
You're right.
by a major amount.
He still beat her.
Sure.
Yeah, but who the hell's going to vote for this?
She was suing Alex.
But let's Troy.
She was suing for a runoff.
Okay.
What she was suing for.
He beat her then.
Okay, so let's
and
fast
that was
forward.
when he had a unified Republican Party.
Yeah,
He's
exactly.
He's going to lose 3 to 10% of Republicans hate Brian Kemp.
He's lost a third of Republicans.
Well,
this is what I was about to say, Troy. Let's fast forward to 2020, right? He beat her in 2018 or 2017, took office in 2018. Let's fast forward to 2020 and the general election and Brian Kemp's response to that general election and the mainstream Republican reaction to Brian Kemp's response to 2020. Now tell me after that whether you think this man can beat Stacey Abrams.
I think he still can.
Oh, he can't.
Let's go. All right. Now hold on. Let's
There's no way that punk ass Kemp can win at this point.
All right, go on, Troy. Tell us why.
I'll tell you why. I've stayed employed throughout this whole lockdown.
Right.
And most of my coworkers who are African Americans are employed. They never missed a paycheck. They never missed overtime. We didn't miss a damn thing.
Sure. Any Republican governor in Georgia would have done the same thing.
No, but I'm telling you what my coworkers are saying.
Okay.
And I got black coworkers.
Okay.
Fuck that bitch. It's hers. Are their exact words. She can't do nothing for me.
Okay. Well, let's talk about.
I make.
All right.
my
Well,
own
hold
deal.
on. That's your reason. Now let's move over to Larry. Larry's privy to numbers that we're just not privy to, quite frankly. Larry, I don't know how much you can go into. I don't know how much you can share, but tell us your opinion of Brian Kemp's opportunity to beat. I know these numbers, I know this data, so I'm going to take this opportunity to go grab a Guinness while Larry tells
Chris.
everybody else. Go ahead, Larry.
This is just the fact. Brian Kemp can't afford to lose 3%. And numbers tell us right now, Brian Kemp can't go to a public event and a third of the crowd not boo him at minimum. Can't go to a public, and that's why he doesn't go to public events anymore. They go to private or staged events where it's a positive crowd, invited crowd, because he is that disliked by a good portion of the population. The Kemp's campaign actually did a survey here the last few weeks. They weren't certain how popular Donald Trump was with Republican voters in Georgia. And the survey came back that 70% of Republican voters support Donald Trump to this day. He's not, and Donald Trump just endorsed David Perdue. When election time comes, if Brian Kemp would be on that general election ballot, Republicans are not going to vote for Stacey Abrams, but we feel at least 10% would skip that governor's race and just not vote. And yeah, that would be handing it to Stacey Abrams, but we've got people who just cannot bring themselves to vote for Brian Kemp because of what happened with the 2020 election and how they feel he betrayed Donald Trump. It's just fact, guys.
Is Kemp that really that badly disliked, or
he is that badly disliked,
or are the Democrats sending out booers to these events?
They're not sending out booers. That was at the Georgia Republican convention where only Republicans can get in the building. Dude.
Right. So here's what's going on with Kemp.
Damn.
He did not stand up and do something after the election. I'm not going to make any claims about what happened in the election, but as far as the voter base goes and the perception, there was some suspicion surrounding the election. Kemp not only did nothing about it, but the way that he did nothing tasted like obstructing anybody else doing anything.
Exactly.
Vis-a-vis special sessions and the like. And not only that, but we've got Raffensperger, who's right there, Kemp's right-hand man, is deeply embroiled in what is a very suspicious controversy. Add to that, after all, add to that, you've got the McMichael situation where one after the other, prosecutors said the McMichael situation. Oh God, what was his name? The one that they said was just out jogging. I'm blanking on his name right now. Aubrey. Ahmaud Arbery. So in the Ahmaud Arbery case, the prosecutors, one after the other, said this is a clear-cut case of self-defense. Now, the McMichaels have been found guilty. But let's be very clear. Before the McMichaels ever got charged, a half dozen prosecutors said, this is clear-cut self-defense. We will not bring charges. And then were harassed by BLM rioters and recused themselves as a result. And then another prosecutor took over and said, I'm not going to charge. This is clear-cut self-defense. And the riot, the mob, kept coming after the prosecutors, and they kept recusing themselves. And then Kemp came in and said, I'm putting the GBI on this. And they let the damn BLM rioters continue to harangue and threaten and terrorize these prosecutors until they found a friendly prosecutor that was happy to hang a couple of white boys based on race alone to mollify that crowd. When Kemp put his name on that, he lost me for good. So I will vote for Kemp in the general, only to vote against Stacey Abrams, but I will not vote for him in a primary.
And the thing is, there are people who just will not vote for him in the general election. They're not going to vote for Stacey, but they're just going to skip that race.
But damn it, you can't just
whoever. Can I speak for just a second?
Well, let's go around the table. Hold on, Troy. Hold on a second. Let's go around the table.
Yes.
Because there are like 7 of us here now. 6 of us, including you. Sorry, Scotty. What were you going to say, brother?
I was just saying this is no different than the Oz suck a dick Nesbitt. Why give it to him? I mean, vote against the person you hate is still better than giving it to the dumbass Stacey.
I don't.
Like I said, I'll vote for him in the general if it comes to that, but I will not give him my primary.
Yeah, go ahead, Troy.
I know that's Chris right there. He was talking about the Ahmaud Arbery deal. Chris, my mother wrote the SOP manual for Newton County. I'll just tell you, standard operating procedures. And she also was one of the officers in the reason the city of Covenant was one of the first accredited. But my mother's a straight up officer. She's straight up and down. And I always said that was sneaky. I didn't believe anything on the Ahmaud Arbery, what any of them guys said. White, black, indifferent. I don't give a damn. That was a stone cold. I won't say it was an ambush, but it wasn't right. I'll say that. Now, they deserve what they got. That's what the jury gave them. That's our system. That's how we do it. And it's better for one guilty man to go free. It really is.
All right, well, let's get back on to Kemp, though.
But if you want to go, the fact of the matter is that if everybody that voted for Trump had voted in that runoff, because there was 400,000 votes that didn't get cast in that runoff.
All right, well, let's you know what? Let's do an informal poll. Let's go around the table. Dave, you don't live in Georgia anymore, but you used to, so I'm going to include you in this poll. In a Republican primary, Dave Bowen, would you vote for Brian Kemp?
In the primary?
Yep.
Nope. He lost me when he stood behind the mayor and behind the crooked DA in Atlanta when they were pulling all that shit. Last summer, I guess?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yep.
Scotty,
that's when he lost me.
Scotty, in a Republican primary, would you vote for Brian Kemp?
Nah.
Chris Lowry, in a Republican primary, would you vote for Brian Kemp?
No.
Larry Cox, in a Republican primary, would you vote for Brian Kemp?
I will be voting for David Perdue.
Yeah. And my response is absolutely not. I would not vote for Kemp in a primary. I'm with Chris. I would vote for him in the general if he happens to be the nominee.
I would also do that too. I would vote for him in a general.
Yeah. So out of 6 people, Troy, you're the only one that would vote for Kemp. That has to tell you something.
The only reason I would ever vote for Kemp is to keep from.
I never said I'd vote for Kemp.
Well, you said that David Perdue shouldn't be running, right? You think Perdue shouldn't be running? Is what you said?
It's political suicide. I think it's political suicide.
Okay, let me pop in real quick on.
I'll say this. Oh. I will vote for Steve in the primary. But if I got to choose between, I ain't voting for. There's no way in hell the last Democrat I voted for was Zigzag Zale.
No, but would you? Okay, then I'll ask you the question: would you vote for Brian Kemp in a Republican primary?
At this time, I can't.
Just yes or no. Simple question.
No, I can't vote.
Okay, well then that's 6 out. Then okay, well hold on. That's 6 out of 6. Doesn't that technically mean that Kemp should be the one that's not running, not David Perdue? Shouldn't Kemp have the common sense and the good grace to drop the hell out instead of David Perdue? That's 6 for 6.
It doesn't mean I don't think Kemp does a good job. I think Kemp's done under the circumstances.
The political suicide. The political suicide is on the behalf of Brian Kemp here, not David Perdue.
Well, somebody talked David Perdue into throwing his hat in the ring.
Yeah, he got Donald Trump's. He got Donald Trump's. He got Donald Trump's endorsement.
I tell you this. I'm a constitutional carry guy. I really am, and I know Chris. I know Chris will understand this. Kemp kind of half-ass on it. Now David's running on it.
Sure,
and I'll vote for David. But if David don't get it, I'm still voting for Kemp.
Well, I think we all agree with that. We're gonna.
If it comes down to Kemp and Stacey, then of course everybody will vote against Stacey.
Well, okay.
Primary.
Hold on, Troy.
Real quick, Troy. Constitutional carry. Before Kemp was elected, I spoke to him in person a couple of times before he was elected, and there was
Happy New Year, Derek.
He shook my hand and hugged me. And I asked him, I said, I got one question for you to secure my vote. Where do you stand on the Second Amendment? He said, constitutional carry, baby. I want to repeal every gun law in existence. That's almost, I'm paraphrasing a little bit, but that's almost a direct quote. And that was right before the election between him and Stacey Abrams. And
you know what the problem is with constitutional carry is?
He talked about constitutional carry on the campaign trail. He talked about constitutional carry on the campaign trail. But since his election, when's the last time you heard him say a damn word about it? Mm-hmm. It was a voting issue point, and then he walked away from it and left us high and dry and fucked us all up.
Chris, I'll be honest with you. I haven't heard Kemp say anything about it since right before he got elected.
Exactly. That alone loses him my primary vote.
Well, not only here's the thing. The proof is in the pudding. It went through constitutional carry, went into committee twice under Brian Kemp. Never came out of committee. Twice, never came out. So if you're a constitutional carry guy, you can't support Brian Kemp. You can't.
But if Brian Kemp will sign the bill,
he won't sign the bill. If
the problem is, if it went in committee and didn't make it out of committee, you got another problem.
Well, yeah, we have another problem.
And hey, I'll take Vernon Jones over Brian Kemp if for no other reason than I've got his fucking cell phone number and I get to call him and say, "Hey, what's up with my Second Amendment shit, dude?"
Yep.
Guys on the radio.
Yeah, I at least talked to Vernon Jones like for 30 minutes the other day riding down the street with my wife and a kid in the car. Like me and Vernon have conversations that have nothing to do with politics.
Yeah.
And hey,
I mean, he's a good guy, whether it's politics or not. He's just an okay guy. I mean. Now, I would have loved to have hung out with Vernon Jones at the Golf Club or something.
Yeah, I done told him I'm drinking.
All right, Troy.
New Year's Eve, I'm drinking.
All right, Troy, we're gonna wrap this up. Free up the phone lines.
We're all drinking too. Shit, I got my whole rack laid out over here.
Yeah, you do.
I think we all on the same 2 pages.
The same 2 pages?
I think all of us are on the same 2 pages.
We
might not be on the same page. We're on the same 2 pages.
I think we're on the front of that page and you're on the back of that page, but hey, it's the same 2 pages.
We're on the front of Busted.
We're close enough. We're close enough. Brother, Happy New Year. Thank you for calling in. Keep listening. And we appreciate it, man. Take it easy.
Right.
See ya.
I love you.
I love you,
See
brother.
you, brother.
We love you too, sugar.
I missed that phone call, you dumbass. You don't call in to do that at the show anymore.
So at the end of the day,
and hey, real quick, Scotty, I'm sorry I haven't been calling into the show
It's
as much
all
lately. No. For real, here's what's been going on.
I know. I tried to die on you, and you're fucking pissed off. I get it.
No. So check it out. So you went off the air for a little while with your sickness, obviously, and that was a rough time for all of us missing you and seeing what you were going through. And man, if I could have just come in and murdered everything that was complicating it, I would have been happy to do it.
Yeah, I got you.
And please believe, I would have been happy to do it. I haven't shot a man in 10 years, man, and I'm. You got any more of them terrorists under that trench coat, man? But no, the last couple months, I picked up a new contract doing real estate photography, and normally what happens is I'm out the door as soon as my show's over in the morning, and basically they send me a name, an address, and a time, and I go and I shoot them.
Well, when spring comes and you start running that drone over the pool with the hot chicks, I want to be invited to that.
So you're a hitman, but with a camera.
Yeah.
Well, Dave, basically, here's what happened. I came back from a war, and the Army told me that because of some of my injuries, they wouldn't let me go back to war and kill people. And I said, well, if I don't get to kill people, then I don't want to be in the Army anymore. So I went ahead and let my contract in, and I took a medical retirement. So I'm retired. But I love shooting people so much that after I got out of the Army, I bought a bunch of cameras and opened a film production company.
Nice.
Now I go out and shoot people. I bring them back to my house, drag them into the basement here in my studio, and I cut them up.
Yeah, but it's like you're getting contracts on people. You get a name and an address, and you're off to shoot them.
Hey, no shit.
Hey, Alex, I'm glad this is your shit that's going to get canceled tonight, not mine.
Yeah, I was just thinking that too, Scotty.
I'm glad Just for Fun is free and clear of all the shit after what I went through today and today alone. Sorry.
Yeah.
Oh no,
Hey,
Scotty,
listen,
that's not how it works with pairs.
Here's the good news. I don't think we've said anything yet. Believe it or not, I don't think we've said anything yet that would upset YouTube. We haven't alleged any conspiracy theories, nothing. We've actually been pretty level-headed with our arguments. And at the end of the day, after that phone call, 6 out of 6 of us agree that we would not vote for Brian Kemp in a Republican primary. So may as well edit out that entire phone call.
I did do a silent Stacey Abrams impression.
I
saw that. Every time I hear her brag about her education, I'm like, bitch, you went to the same high school I went through. You see how good I can fucking read.
I was laughing my teeth out, that whole gag there. But dude, so I mentioned the photographic mercenary thing. I had 2 real quick. About 2 weeks ago, I was sent to this house. It was like a Section 8 joint. And I get there and they take like 15 minutes to open the door. And I was just about to just walk away from it because I've only got so much time, and I shoot a half a dozen houses a day. So if one is going to take me too long, it's going to bleed into my next contract. Fuck you, I'm walking away. Woman answers the door. Finally, I get in the house. The house is filthy. There's trash on the floor. There's cigarette butts all over the place. There's stacks of boxes. She says, well, they ought to let us know and let us get out before they send you over. I'm like, wow, okay, whatever. I'm going to shoot the rooms and forget the aesthetics. I'm focused on showing potential buyers the size of the rooms that they need to come in and gut and remodel. I'll get into the living room of this house. It's got a nice big fireplace, and I'm okay. I want to get a shot of that. But the light fixture in the room has been ripped out of the ceiling. And there's a pile of dirty laundry on the floor, but there's some nice big bay windows. So I go over to open the windows so I can get some light in this room. Get some pictures of this.
Alex, that'll get you thrown off right there.
And the pile of laundry is right there by the big bay windows. I walk over and I'm opening the windows, and the woman comes up and kicks the pile of laundry, and she says, "Get up, picture man's here." There were 2 to sleep on the floor under what I thought was a pile of dirty laundry. If she hadn't come in and kicked him, I would have just shot the room with this vagrant sleeping on the floor, right? And then there was another one. This was about 3 days ago. I get to the house and the front door is kicked in. The hardware, the doorknob and the hey baby,
The doorknob.
the doorknob and the deadbolt have been removed from the door, left on the countertop, and with a couple of sets of keys, one to a derelict car in the yard. So I call the agent and I tell her, hey, you're tracking that your lockbox has been destroyed and that all the hardware has been removed from the front door of this house. The house has been cleaned out. I say cleaned out. Somebody had come and removed all the property and material from it, but the carpets were filthy, animal shit and piss everywhere, and cigarette butts all over the place. And I mentioned to the agent when I got her on the phone, hey, there's cigarette butts all over the floor in here. She said, oh, well, we went and cleaned those out the other day, which means the guy's been back. And please believe, when I walked up to that door, the door was locked. I set my camera down on the tripod on the front porch, and I put my hand on my pistol, and I pushed the door open and announced myself loudly, Picture man's here. Hello.
You said it like a superhero. I'm Picture Man.
Right.
Well, I mean, come on, man.
Look, I got so nervous. He put his hands
I
on his hip. I
literally
already
have
started
not
hearing
shot
that
a
music.
man in 10 years. That was this past April. They ought to give me a chip like a freaking AA club. And so the woman tells me, okay, we went and cleaned that up a couple of days ago. So that means the guy's been back. Okay. Well, you've got a squatter. You need to get the police out here after dark. I was disappointed that I didn't actually encounter the squatter. God, that would have made my millennium.
That would have been your highlight of 2021.
Well, we got less than an hour to go, and we're out of 2021, fellas.
Well, I'm about to go. My wife has texted and said, bring your ass on up here so we can spend the last hour together. And hope
My wife, who's been watching the show up to now, just walked up, and I can't hear her without I have to apply my technological augmentation.
Listen, you're married. The best thing for you to do is just fucking look at her and nod yes to everything she says.
Actually, we have a code. Whenever she tries to talk to me and I don't have my hearing aids in, I just say, I love you too.
See?
Because
See?
I didn't hear what she's. I don't have any idea.
That's always the correct answer.
It's a good rule of thumb there, bud.
You look pretty.
It's a good rule of thumb. Scotty, Happy New Year, brother. Thank you for coming on.
No, man,
Scotty,
I'm glad
good to see you, brother.
Yeah, man, good seeing you guys. Larry, good seeing you.
Thanks, Scotty.
Scotty, we love you, baby. You be safe out there.
Yes, sir. Thanks. And look, if I didn't go to bed at like 9 o'clock, normally to be up by 5, my ass probably wouldn't be falling asleep. But I will say the liquor probably helped me relax way too fast at night.
Right.
For everybody,
people do that.
For everybody watching who's not familiar with DJ Scotty, you can find him at justforfunradio.com, the number 4, number 4 radio, justforfunradio.com. There
we go.
Him on Facebook. He does a daily morning show. There is a half-hour crossover between the Brushfire Mind and Just for Fun Radio, but that's when Just for Fun's just getting warmed up. That's why they're having their first minutes. They're having their first couple of shots.
That's right. The first half hour, we're saying good morning to everybody. Like, I would have never in a million years, by the way, since we just turned 11 years old, I never would have figured, my shirts would sell the way they do. And I would never believe I'm where I'm at. So my highlight of 2021, and I don't mean that in a shitty Canadian voice. I lived through the fucking Rona, and 2, thanks to T-shirt sales, it helped pay some bills while my wife was out of work. So I do appreciate every single person that bought shirts, because without y'all buying shirts, me and my wife probably would have really struggled before I ever went into the hospital.
And Scotty, number 3, Georgia just won their bowl game.
Oh, turn your.
Which you know what that means? You know what that means, right? Birmingham, Alabama.
Look, bitch, I will tell you what.
Let's
I
go,
will take shit from
Brandon.
Alabama fans. Everybody else can fuck straight off. Because Alabama fans are the only ones that can give any shit to Georgia fans. Scotty, tell me 3 things you know about football.
With the leather egg.
I know.
Hang on.
Cheerleaders look hot.
Exactly.
If they had a cheerlead channel,
Precisely.
I'd watch it.
That's what,
Danielle's in
go
the
ahead
house.
and,
Scotty,
and
they do
take
have
your
a cheerleading
vagina
channel.
and go to
Where the
bed,
fuck
little
have you
man,
been?
because you don't want to talk football with this crowd.
Oh,
I'm
I
gonna go ahead and
definitely
tell
don't
you
want to
that.
talk with you because you get violent.
I do. I absolutely do. That's
Scotty's been
why
drinking. He
when
can't tell
people
if
were
I'm lying or not.
suggesting me being on the stream and watching Georgia football, Alex didn't even entertain that because he knows better.
Yeah.
Yeah.
My
I'm
co-host,
completely
ladies and gentlemen, Danielle Munoz, is now joining the stream. I'm assuming Georgia won.
Yes, go Dogs.
Okay,
With
go
Danielle with a
Dogs.
shit-eating grin on her face.
Yeah.
38
She would
to
be giving
11.
me shit if they'd have lost.
But things are about to get spicy, and Scotty's leaving.
I'm going to
Scotty's leaving
bed.
right as Danielle jumps
Yeah,
in.
I jumped on.
stay
I
awake.
jumped on quickly to say goodnight and Happy New Year to Scotty. Love you, buddy.
No, you both have to hang out or you're going to fuck up our symmetry.
And listen, just to let all of the faces on this show know, because me and Chris have been saying we were going to get a bunch of shit going. I now own a stage. And why in
And
the
we're going to
hell
do some
we haven't
stand-up.
done something? Like, I own a stage. There's zero reason for us to not throw it on a trailer and go do something.
I don't disagree with that.
Used to I had to find a stage. Well, hell, now I own it, and I still ain't finding myself out there doing anything. But that's the first of the year, man. I found brakes for the bus. I'm gonna get the bus back on the road, pull a trailer behind it, and
That thing's gonna be in a above ground pool by the 4th of July.
Yeah. We're going to irritate a town near somebody soon.
Yeah, irritating a town near you.
Yeah.
All right, brother. Well, go see your missus.
Yeah, man.
Go
Y'all
see
have
your
a great
kids.
night.
Tell
Have a
Kristen we love
wonderful
her.
New Year.
Night, buddy.
We love
For
you, man.
everything tonight, man. I'll see y'all later.
Take it easy.
All right,
See
bye,
ya.
you guys. Bye.
DJ Scotty, justforfunradio.com. If you haven't followed their Facebook page, go follow their Facebook page. They have some great conversations in the morning. Danny, welcome. Again, for those folks from other channels, Daniel Munoz, my co-host on the Politek Show, Mondays and Thursdays at 9 p.m.
Hey,
glad you're here. This is where we
hang
get
on.
banned.
I seriously ran in. Let me close my office door. Give me 5 seconds. Sorry. Hang on.
Okay.
Totally professional. Hang on.
Yeah, no worries. This is where we get banned from YouTube.
Yep.
when Danielle jumps on after watching a Bulldogs game.
You'll have to ask Danny the question, Al, since everybody else answered the question about Kent Purdue.
All right. Well, Danny used to live in Georgia, so I will include her in this. Then we're 6 for 6 right now. Danny, let's see if you can make it for 7 for 7. If you still lived in Georgia, would you vote for Brian Kemp in a Republican primary?
No.
Okay, 7 for 7. Then like
That was
that.
easy. Yeah, I was scared for a second.
Yeah.
It's
Everybody,
like I just got here and you're asking hard questions. I'm afraid.
yeah, no. We had a phone call from Troy Buchanan.
Oh, I
Buchanan.
miss Troy.
You didn't, yeah. And I'm not really sure what happened on the phone call, other than he called in. I thought in support of Brian Kemp, and then ended up saying, no, I wouldn't vote for him in a primary. So we're 7 for 7. That's a message to Brian Kemp right there.
That's awesome.
Because these are some hardcore Republicans right here.
Right. Sorry, I lost a dog. My dog got on the other side of the door. Hang on. Sorry.
That's right. Bill Campbell, make it 8 for 8 right here. Yeah. I think it's a, I knew what Danny's answer would be. Holly. Yeah, absolutely.
But yeah, since Bill did it in the chat, come on, chat. Tell us, Brian Kemp or David Perdue. Let us know.
Yeah, in the primary, Kemp or Perdue. We're not talking about the general. Whoever the nominee is, of course, we're going to vote for whoever that is over Stacey Abrams, or at least I would hope we would. I hope Republicans do go out and vote regardless. Let's not let that.
Do not shoot yourselves in the foot.
Yeah, let's not shoot ourselves in the foot again. 9 for 9, Holly says.
Holly says Alex knew what Danny's answer would be. Did you say what my answer would be?
I knew what your answer would be. Yeah. Steve says Vernon. By the way, Danny and I have a interview that we did with Vernon last week. I've chopped it up into bite-sized pieces on YouTube. You can find them, and I've split them up by topic. You can find them at thepolitechshow.live/YouTube or youtube.com/the Politek Show. And if you like what you see, subscribe. Hit that subscribe button. We would appreciate it.
Charlotte.
Hey, did you see
Charlotte Garrett,
Vernon on Just for Fun?
I did.
He did an
I'm sorry.
interview.
Say again, Danny.
Did you see Vernon on Just for Fun the other morning?
I did not. No, I missed
He
that.
did an
Is it just for
interview.
fun too? What the fuck? What about Brushfire?
He did
Call
an-
him up and ask him. Charlotte asks. Well, no, I mean,
I know
no,
it's
they're
hard to
not
tell,
the
but I was
only.
literally in the middle of a sentence when you two fuckers started talking. What I was saying was Vernon
I'm
did
sorry,
an entire
Danny.
interview
I
with
love you.
Just for Fun from his treadmill.
Did he really?
Yeah,
Yeah,
like
yeah.
on the treadmill, whole thing like didn't miss a beat.
Yeah,
I can lie,
Entire
that's-
interview from
That's
his
some big
treadmill.
dick energy.
That's brilliant.
It was amazing.
Charlotte,
is a
no.
no.
Charlotte, no. Listen, we know those aren't the only two choices, but they're the only two viable choices.
Yeah,
The other,
Vernon is down to like 7% now, and Candace is at 1%.
Yeah,
and then those two are both around 40%. So,
Right, and Purdue is going to be speaking at the DeKalb County Republican Party meeting on
in January.
Yeah, I think it's the 8th.
I got to go back and look at Marcy's email and see when it is.
And
Alex Furman is a no.
I told the rep from there that asked me, I'm going to go out and film that and run it on the BFM. And I told him when I'm there, I'm going to ask Purdue in front of that audience and on video and publish it. I'm going to ask him this question. The timing of your announcement seems odd. So the question I have is, how much is Stacey Abrams paying you to split the vote? And I'm asking that question for a specific reason. I want him to answer it. I want him to answer about the timing. And the rep that I spoke to at the time, he actually had a very good answer. And without overselling it, the answer was basically that Purdue has a record that can support doing many of the things that Vernon is promising on.
I'll tell you, I'm going to talk to you about the timing. Purdue was going to announce the week before, but Stacey announced on that Wednesday or Thursday.
Right.
Purdue was going to announce that Friday, and then they pushed it to the next week because they didn't want to be in the same news cycle. So that's sort of what the timing was,
which is smart. That's
and they were waiting to they wanted it to be after Thanksgiving and before Christmas. They wanted it to be before the New Year. So, but what happened was they were going to announce it. Then Stacey announced. I think they all knew. They were all leaking everything, and I think Stacey did to jump and she did that to jump and beat Purdue. She beat his announcement, and then he had to delay it and wait till the next week.
Sean Stryker says Vernon is a sleeper. Purdue called out amphibious priapism.
Yeah, Vernon's one of the most vocal. Vernon's one of the most vocal now Republican, but even as a Democrat, he was calling out the EF, the alleged election fraud. He was calling it out as a Democrat, and
I mean, let's be real. After last year, it feels a little bit like Bukhan, North Korea. The shit. Legion, you'll have to remind me. I can't remember how to pronounce it. But I mean, in Bukhan-e-Nun, the North Koreans, they have a huge election. They have a huge election where there are two parties on the ballot, but you're only allowed to vote for one of them without getting shot.
Right. Andrew asks, have any of you ever lived in DeKalb County when Vernon was there? Yes, I have. I also worked with, not for, but with my line of work. We deal with municipalities, and I dealt with DeKalb, and believe it or not, Vernon solved a lot of issues that we were having with planning and zoning in DeKalb. Look, I don't deny that there are a lot of stories about Vernon Jones. What I've yet to see is any evidence to back up a lot of those allegations made against Vernon Jones. Now, listen, again, don't get me wrong. I'm not saying that he's necessarily a viable candidate here. I don't think he stands a chance in the Republican primary, to be honest with you. As much as I like him personally as a friend, I don't think he stands a chance here. But there have been an awful lot of allegations thrown at Vernon. In our last interview, we talked about a number of those. This interview, we touched on the controversy that has followed Vernon Jones's career. But again, I see a lot of people raising their voices and saying, "Oh, you know, he's a crook, he's a criminal." But I haven't seen any solid evidence against him.
Well, you know, Alex, I think the same thing happened with Vernon that happened to former Mayor Reed of Atlanta. There were things that went down in his administration. People around him that were tied to him went down for things, just like Reed.
Mm-hmm.
It's very similar. You know, and there's just, you know, that belief that those folks that are able to maneuver things like that, they're able to maneuver it, that they're not the ones that go down for it. Their underlings are.
I will.
Oh, okay. So real quick on Vernon, one of the big ones that hit him was while he was the CEO in DeKalb, he got hit. He actually got hit with a complaint of racism. A white guy filed that his group was hiring too many blacks, right? But the fact of the matter is, we're talking about later mid-90s, when DeKalb County was going through a population shift as a result of physical relocation of blacks from Atlanta to Decatur and out to Conyers. Like here in Conyers, for example, we had a lot of people move from Atlanta to Conyers for jobs at the horse park for the '96 Olympics. And that had a really bizarre effect, as all of a sudden all these $20 an hour jobs just disappeared. But at the same time, a lot of those people had sold or rented out their houses to the Olympic competitors who decided to retain control of those properties. And so we had a bunch of people move out here that couldn't move back. And then their high-paying job went away and they moved into a different job. That had a dramatic impact on the demographic shift in basically everything around Atlanta, the whole metro Atlanta perimeter, especially on the southwest side or on the southeast side. In Decatur, at the time that Vernon was the CEO, part of that meant that the demographics of the location shifted from white to black at a substantial rate. During that period, Vernon Jones was accused of hiring more blacks than whites, right? They actually made an accusation that he was a racist hiring too many blacks in Decatur. And quite simply, what it looks like to me is it was at a time that the demographics shifted that direction, and nobody's fault. There happened to be more black people applying for the jobs for which Decatur was hiring at the time. So that Vernon happened to be black at the time that Decatur got blacker and had more blacks applying to the jobs was completely beside the idea that Vernon might be a black racist. I don't think he was a black racist at all. I think it's as simple as we could more black people applying for the job.
I agree. We could level the same charge against our chairman, Oz Nesbitt, because I'll wager that 90% of their hires are people of color. And that's because we're a majority black county now. And so that's going to happen.
I think Oz is just as crooked as a Florida man's teeth.
Well,
that was for you, Mario. By the way,
we have Florida man sitting between us at the moment. Well, he's not. Dave's a Georgia boy. Just happens to live in Florida.
Dave, you are. Where are you? I mean, I know you're in Florida, but where in Florida?
Tarpon Springs.
Where is that?
West of Tampa, right on the water.
Okay.
Right there where the damn hurricanes hit all the time.
Okay, you're not too far away from my boy, the Legion, who's been in the chat, and he is a studied propaganda troll of the highest order.
Where's he?
You two need to hook up. He's in
Legion
18. Where are you? Legion, I forget the name of the
he's
city.
right
but
down there. I seen him there.
he's
in the he's in the chat. He's not in Florida. He's in the chat, Chris.
Yeah,
Get it right.
He's here with us.
He's here with
he's
us.
in Florida and the chat.
In Florida and the chat. Okay, fair enough. But don't ask him. Don't tell us where you are in the chat. If you and Dave want to arrange a call or a meeting or something, let's do that in the background instead of publicly on the YouTube.
We have a private chat.
And I see Willow Bar making the comment like he's going to announce his location. Baby. I'm just hounding the Legion to see if he'll break OPSEC. Because that shit still amuses me.
Yeah. Yeah. Listen, Vernon is I like Vernon as
I do too.
as a guy, as a person. I like Vernon. I've always said, and I've said this to Vernon, this is not a secret. I've said this to his face. He's just the right level of shady. He's just the right degree of shady.
That may be the best thing I've heard anybody say about him. That's spot the fuck on.
Yeah, I like him. He's been on our show 3 times now. 2 of those times was as a Democrat. And listen, Larry and I disagree on a number of things when it comes to Vernon Jones. One of them being that even as a Democrat, Vernon was a very he was a conservative Democrat by modern standards. Let's put it that way. But that doesn't mean he's the best choice of candidate as a Republican.
No, I think anybody who lived in his district who was a Republican, his last 4 years as a representative, you can't honestly say that he represented this district in any conservative manner whatsoever.
Larry, let's tell the story about when Vernon hid from us at the Capitol.
Oh my God, Alex.
we were trying to move a bill. Larry spearheaded this. We were trying to move a bill through the Capitol here in Georgia to convert our host to an e-host, which would force the county to give money back to the taxpayers. We went there because we had to speak to the members of the local delegation, Vernon Jones being one of those members. He camped out in the council's office for, a couple of hours? He camped out in general counsel's office, avoiding us, hiding from us for about 2 hours, hoping that we would go away. We didn't go anywhere. We didn't go away. We were still there when he eventually came out. And he had to, at the end of the day, he had to talk to us. He killed that piece of legislation. It was good legislation that would have benefited everybody, Republican and Democrat, and Vernon Jones single-handedly blocked it as a Democrat.
He pulled, and I'm telling you, it was a great strategic move. They have rules that you're supposed to turn in. Their local legislative rules, and their local legislative rules stated that a simple majority of the local delegation could vote and approve local legislation. But if they didn't turn their rules in, then it took 100% vote.
Right.
So Vernon's one no vote vetoed anything, no matter if the other 5 members voted yes or not. So I mean, so he made himself a super delegate is how he did it.
And listen, he was a Democrat at the time. He did his job as a Democrat. It ended up, I think it screwed every single one of us, both Republican and Democrat, the taxpayers of Rockdale. And at the time, maybe that was his job. But we do have to remember that. Even now he's a Republican. We have to remember that he did that.
But no, I think it was more than that. It was a vindictive kind of thing because he kept saying, as being a CEO and head of a county, we didn't do enough due diligence of talking to the chairman. And that's not accurate. there was communication that went back and forth with the county about that. I mean, that was he portrayed that as something that it wasn't. And then also a Democrat-led delegation 2 years before that passed the exact same legislation in DeKalb County, which he was a member of that delegation also, Alex.
Yep.
So you can't, that argument doesn't even fly.
Yeah. We also, listen, I'm going to throw it out there. We also can't ignore Larry's relationship with Vermin, as Larry likes to call him. and the fact that the Vernon and Larry do not listen. They're now that Vernon's a Republican, they're amicable, and well, that's about as far as it goes, to be honest with you. But yeah, Vernon, Larry's pet name for Vernon happens to be Vermin. It makes no secret about it. Has said it at public meetings and on his show over and over again. We know Vernon watches this stuff. So, and the fact that Larry brought this legislation to the legislature.
And not only that, Alex, he also blames me for killing a piece of legislation once also.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, there's no love lost there, to be honest with you.
Real quick. So, Patrick, who's in the chat right now, Patrick and I were at the Trump rally where Vernon Jones went crowd surfing. And I ain't gonna lie, crowd surfing at a Trump rally was almost enough to grab my vote for the primary by itself. Right. I mean, because let's be real. Let's assume that he is as crooked as Stacey Abrams' teeth. If he's got the political, tactical wherewithal to understand the power of crowd surfing at a Trump event, because there are some levels there. There are some serious levels there. One, a careful, calculated acquisition of a very serious coattail to ride. Mm-hmm. 2, an understanding of the meme war, meme culture, and what is essentially an active propaganda war between the two parties, right? And the wherewithal to seize the absolute zeitgeist of all of those confluences means that he has a level of political tactical awareness that is, it's one of those things. He may be, it may be a monster, but he's my monster.
Well,
right?
I got you, Chris. But I'll tell you,
then,
if you
hang on, Larry, real quick.
Go ahead,
Larry. Let me do this real quick. I just have to hit this comment in the chat. Legion says, "Come get me. I'm ready. Dox me, bust on me." Legion, let's be very clear about something, sweetheart. I know where you are. I love you deeply. And every case of doxing is a case of attempted murder. I have never attempted to kill a man. You will be awake, and we will be facing one another. But I love you, baby. I really do.
That got dark pretty quick.
All right,
that
was Jesus H. Christ.
Well, I'm going to go back to Vermin. I like rather talking about Vermin than potential homicide.
Legion's an old warfighter battle buddy of mine.
I figured that. The shit you're giving each other, I figured these guys are battle buddies.
Yeah, but this is the thing is, I don't question Vernon's political skills. And someone in the chat a minute ago mentioned that the purpose of these guys is to represent constituents. It was very clear in that communication with Vernon on several of those pieces of legislation we discussed. He wasn't representing the constituency of the district. He was representing.
I have a feeling Larry just dropped off there. We'll let him finish that thought when he gets back.
I think he was going to say the party.
Yeah. Yeah, he was. He was towing the party line, and you know, I think Larry may be back now. You there, bud?
I mean, more than the.
Yeah, no, there he goes.
Larry, my man.
My man, he'll be back. Oh, hold on. There he is. He's back.
Yeah, I mean, it was more than even towing the party line. It was towing the line of specific politicians.
Right.
The Rockdale County Commission, and you know, and not even, you know, he said, well, have you listened to the commission? And my thing was with Vernon, which I couldn't even get it in. Have you listened to the voters and the constituents? Which he hadn't.
Right. No, you're right. He hadn't. In fact, the first he heard from constituents was you and I going to the Capitol to talk to him about it. And yeah, listen, we can't forget that. We can't. I understand that. I know that. I know that is an important thing to remember. How Vernon represented Republicans in his district while he was a Democrat, but I understand why he did it.
But he also represented Democrat. But he also represented Democrats.
Yeah, and he hurt them just as much, to be honest with you.
I mean, it's just not people represented Democrats poorly, also. So, you know.
Yep. But he's just the right level of shady, and I'm okay with Vernon. I'm okay.
Hey,
with
guys,
him.
real quick. Okay. I want to address
I
the
mean,
audience.
we have all night. You don't have to be real quick.
And he's never quick. He says real quick. It's like when somebody says no offense and you know you're finna get offended. Lowry says real quick. There's nothing quick about him. Go ahead, Chris.
Right.
You know, Dani, you're sexy and not wrong.
Right. Thank you.
Appreciate you. Here's what I want to do. I want to appeal to the audience right quick. We've got dozens of people watching now. I wish that number were higher, but here it is 11:30. Which means we're going to be ringing in the new year in half an hour. So if you are watching right now, I want you to do all of us a huge favor, yourselves included, and share the absolute shit out of this.
There you go.
Send messenger messages. Tell everybody you know and love that we're doing this right now. And in just a couple of minutes, here, so that y'all have time to tell everybody they all want to watch the show. We'll get our numbers a little bit higher. I'm going to interrupt again and do another unreasonably long real quick, where I ask you to go to the various channels that you're all watching right now, because we are currently live multi-streaming on shit everywhere. Just the Brushfire Mind is in at least a half a dozen places. So we're going to ask you to go and find us and subscribe and share and get involved. And the reason I'm doing this right now for a reason, because I want the biggest numbers we can possibly get when we're all cracking another beer, or maybe even shaking a little makers over the old whiskey bullets again. This is not a sharing size, by the way, but part of what we're doing here is increasing the reach of the various channels that are streaming right now. Guys, we love you and appreciate your viewership and support more than you can imagine. And Legion, baby, I want you to think back to the last time we were on the same mat together and how many times I had to hit you with that pugil stick before the drill sergeant finally let it happen. When I looked at you and said, baby, I'm sorry, but Drill Sergeant Sunnydale says I have to keep swinging.
I left that up there knowing that while you were talking, you were reading it and that you were going to acknowledge it.
Yeah.
And man, that's just funny. You two are a riot. Get a room.
Guys,
Hey,
I
Jeff
gotta
Coogan-
get Legion back on the show again. The two of us, the history we have. Okay, so the thing that I was just talking
hang on.
about with
Lowry,
okay, go
pause
ahead.
yourself a second. Lowry, hush. Jeff Coogan, who is a friend of all of our shows, is fixing to leave. So, Jeffrey, good night. We love you, buddy. Happy
Jeff,
New
love
Year.
you, buddy. Happy New Year.
Hey,
Hey, Jeff, you be safe, brother. We love you.
Yes, be safe. We love you. Happy New Year. I think it was Andrew, aka AJ the DJ, in the chat that asked for each of us to introduce our shows and give the times that we like where we can be found. So Chris, that goes along with what you were saying. So if you would like to kick us off, finish your story and then kick us off.
He's walked away.
That'd be
He's walked away he is smoking a fag.
No, that's all right. I can sprint right back.
Puffing a fag. So yeah, sorry, finish your story and then kick off by introducing the Brushfire Mind.
I normally don't smoke inside, but here I'm a little drunk, so I'm making bad choices. Okay. I am the Brushfire Mind. We do a live show at 7:30 Eastern Standard Time. That's, I believe, 0330 Zulu, if you can do that conversion. But 0730 Eastern Standard Time. We're in Georgia. Every weekday, Monday through Friday. Friday we do Firearms Friday, where we celebrate the armed citizen, defensive gun uses in America. We're very proud of our armed citizens. And you can find us on every major platform. We should be extending our live streams to Rumble in about a week or two as well. And yeah, I mean, like, share, and subscribe, and we appreciate the hell out of your viewership. So our show is primarily political analytics. I'm an old retired Army spook. I did active intelligence analytics for the U.S. government for 7 years. I've worked in hot zones. I have deployed, engaged with, and destroyed the enemies of the United States of America. And after I hurt my back and my knees and I couldn't kill bad guys anymore, I bought a bunch of cameras because I just never get tired of shooting people. So we would love to see you every weekday morning at 0730 for the Brushfire Mind fresh show. And I'll turn it over to the rest of you guys while I go smoke this cigarette, not inside.
Let's jump over to Larry Cox.
I'm going to be really short about this. I'm Larry Cox, and I do the show this week from Rockdale County. We talk about mostly things that happen in Rockdale. We do some national and some state stuff, and we come on Sundays at 8 p.m. So just join us live, and you'll get to hear me criticize local politicians and be pretty hard on them.
Right. Well, not just that. I'm going to elaborate on that for Larry, because Larry and I did a show together for a long time. And because of Larry, we were able to get we got congressmen, we got Doug Collins, we've had senators, we had basically Larry picks up the phone, calls somebody, says, come on the show, and they come on the show. So don't sell yourself short. It's a great show. Head over to Facebook. Head over to, or YouTube, search for, on YouTube, you're going to look for Larry Cox, LARRYCOX, and you'll find his show. And on Facebook, it's facebook.com/This Week from Rockdale.
You can actually type in This Week from Rockdale now, and it comes up as a YouTube channel.
On YouTube? Okay, great.
Yep.
So
and I've
do
dropped
that.
the links in the chat.
Wonderful.
Yeah, I got 10 subscribers, actually.
So get over to YouTube, find This Week from Rockdale, and hit subscribe. Dani and I are the Politek Show. We go live Mondays and Thursdays at 9 p.m. Eastern. I'm right here in Georgia. Danielle's up there in Minnesota. We are kind of crass. Put it this way, don't bring your kids to watch the show. It gets a little bit spicy. We also, we do interviews. I love to do interviews and bring people on. We recently had Vernon Jones. He was our last guest. We don't do interviews as often as Larry, but we try to get the caliber of guests that Larry is able to get. But we do political commentary from a conservative point of view. And like I said, you can find us over on YouTube. You can either head over there and look for the Politek Show, or go to that link and you'll find us. We're looking to grow the channel. Obviously, we've been on YouTube for a year now. We've been doing the show for 6 years, but we've been on YouTube for 1 year. And in that 1 year, I think we've done okay. We are about to break the 50,000 views mark, which isn't much. There are people that get 50,000 views on a single video. But for us, it's quite an achievement, I think, to hit 50,000 in just over a year. But listen, we love when people come over and join us in the show. And if you want to subscribe, subscribe.
And I'm Dave, and I'm absolutely nowhere. Thank you.
Dave is J.D. Bowen. Dave's an author. How many books have you written now?
The 5th one goes out this week.
The 5th one goes out this week. You can find all of Dave's work on Amazon, right?
Yep, under J.D. Bowen, and it's called the John Archer series by J.D.
Spy thrillers. And it's a nice series of books. So J.D. Bowen on Amazon, go find them. Dave is also Dave is probably one of the best conservative commentators that I've ever had on the show, to be honest with you. I like having Dave on. He's always a good conversation. There's a lot of us here tonight, so Dave hasn't said a lot, but the night is still young. So I imagine
I call
Dave
in all the time to most of these shows and offer my unsolicited thoughts.
Absolutely, you do. And Dave's the guy that will put me in my place.
Yeah,
and I imagine at some point in time he's also put Lowry in his place. Dave is the guy that will let me know when I'm not being conservative enough. Am I wrong?
That's true.
Tell me I'm wrong.
It's true.
No, you're not wrong.
It's absolutely true.
I got two things, and they'll actually be real quick. So, Dave, you and I should have a conversation about doing audiobooks, because I'm a genius with a brilliant voice. And then, Larry, I just learned something trying to find This Week from Rockdale on YouTube, and that is that I'm probably too drunk to type. However, I am now 5 of your newest subscribers.
There you go.
I'll tell you what, Chris, you have to read the books first.
5 of their newest subscribers. And let's not forget DJ Scotty and Holly, who were here earlier from justforfunradio.com. You of course, justforfunradio.com. They are you can find them on YouTube, you can find them on Facebook being the primary location, especially if you want to watch the morning show. They broadcast live from 7:30 until 7:30-ish until 10-ish
7:30
every
to
day.
10 MF.
That's right. Every day on Facebook Live. And to me, it's worth tuning in. Go ahead and, if you would, follow the page on Facebook. You can also watch the show on justforfunradio.com, and you can download the app and listen to the station all day long from the app. So, and I have to say thank you also to DJ Scotty, because we broadcast, the Politek Show also goes out and broadcasts on Just for Fun Radio's network. And we wouldn't be able to do that if it wasn't for DJ Scotty. Quite frankly, we got our start at Just for Fun Radio, Danny and I. That's where we started our first ever show. And I love DJ Scotty. We love Holly. We have a great relationship. I wear his face on my shirt, for fuck's sake.
Remember the New Year's Eve show from Just for Fun?
Say what?
Remember the New Year's Eve show from Just for Fun?
I remember where we did the crossover election show the night.
No, this was when you were
Trump got
still
elected.
on Just for Fun.
Was I drunk?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, there you go.
Yes.
The
and
answer.
Jenny, was Trainwreck Jen on?
Yeah.
Yes.
That was a long time ago. God.
It was a long time
before-
ago.
You might have been doing Guns and Gadgets. It was definitely before we started.
Yeah,
it was a long time ago.
But yeah, we broadcast. If you follow Just for Fun Radio, you're going to see the Politek Show as well. But yeah, head over to YouTube, subscribe to all the channels, and if you like what you've heard, anyway, obviously, don't do it if you hate us and you think we're dickens. You know,
unless it's Alex.
Hey, by the way, let me add something real quick, if you don't mind. I'm sorry. Well, you mentioned the books, and I appreciate that, the John Archer series, but for most of the people here, a lot of you guys live in Atlanta, And these books are set in Atlanta, in and around Atlanta. It's about a fictional character in a real place. So you'll recognize a lot of the places and a lot of things from these books because they're all set and they're Southern crime novels. So they're set and based in Atlanta, in and around Atlanta. So you'll recognize a lot of stuff in it. And that's one of the things most people enjoy about it because, they recognize this stuff. As I said,
Absolutely.
It's a fictional character in a real place, and the real place is home to a lot of you guys. So,
Was that Kermit the Wonder Dog? I thought that was Larry's dog barking. That was Kermit.
That was Kermit.
No, that was Kermit.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's there.
Kerm.
He's been on camera a couple of times. He'll come up and
and cuddle for a minute. I held him up so you could see him.
I was off.
Oh, it's well past Tucker Cox's bedtime. He's in bed.
Hi, buddy. Hi, Kerm. He loves
Kermit.
his Aunt Danny. Hey, bud.
There he is.
Good boy.
Kermit the Wonder Dog.
I'll leave those ears.
Really
all right, we're done plugging our shows for now. Let's we have God, I can't even
15
do
minutes to the ball drop.
14 minutes. Now, let me ask you this.
60 years.
Let me ask this question. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm not. Am I correct in saying that there is no peach drop this year?
That is correct.
They canceled the peach drop because of Omicron. Is that right?
Omicron. Yes.
My peaches dropped when I was 14.
This vicious killer disease that
Damn,
I believe
son,
I
that was a
currently
long...
have. This vicious killer that I believe I'm currently infected with. They canceled the peach drop for this.
Are you really sick?
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, no, it's fine. I'm exhibiting certain symptoms, and I think I'm coming down with the Omicron, the COVID.
Did you do a spit test or a nose test?
I have the tests. I was talking to Larry about this today, actually, and here's what I think. Chris did a screen share there. Here's what I think. I think that with these home tests, that timing is critical with getting an accurate result. I think if you test too early, you're probably going to get a negative. So I started developing symptoms yesterday, so I'm going to wait for a few days and then do one of the home tests and see what the results are.
Hey, to answer your question, Andrew James, yes, the name is J.D. Bowen. I mean, I go by Dave because my name's John David, but my nom de plume, I guess, whatever. Yeah. It's not too, a lot of people use fake names. It's just my real initials, J.D. Bowen. And there's a few J.D. Bowen authors in the world, I think. So the way you do it in Amazon is you search for under books, not just anything, under books, J.D. Bowen, the John Archer series. That's Jon Archer series. And my 4 books will come up, and the 5th one is coming out this week.
There you go.
Sorry to interrupt.
No, it's absolutely fine. Interrupt all you need, man. You're a guest on the show. You get to interrupt and cut me off as much as you want.
Hey, real quick. Hey, Legion asked, "Did you get vaxxed?" And I want to give you the same answer that I gave somebody else recently. I was shooting an apartment in Bouville, and this guy followed me around the apartment building as I was trying to shoot pictures of the amenities like the pool and the weights and stuff. And he kept, "Hey, are you vaxxed? Are you vaxxed?" He kept asking me these questions. I'm like, okay, listen, son. As much as I, like any other red-blooded, decent American human being that's morally opposed to the murdering of babies, wants to see Roe v. Wade abolished, the fact of the matter, it's still the law, and it does a lot. Unfortunately, the fact is, it does a lot to buttress our medical privacy act rights. So you can go fuck yourself, because nobody gets to ask me about personal business and expect that I am compelled to answer you. Also, no, I'm not.
Well, I don't feel compelled to answer, but to answer the question, yeah, I did get vaccinated. I had the Moderna shot. I had 2 of them. I have not had any boosters.
Like the masked lady on the Delta flight from Tampa to Atlanta.
I have not had the vaccine because I have another medical condition related to my type 2 diabetes that makes the vaccine a non-starter for me, unfortunately. I'm not against the vaccine. I do have a lot of questions. But I mean, I'm still pure-blooded, and my iron content is almost triple the average human's. So there we are.
Pure blood reporting in minus the 0.13 blood alcohol content.
Those are rookie numbers, Legion. You got to get those.
You got to get those numbers up, brother.
Chris, shrapnel doesn't count in your iron content.
You got to pump those numbers up, brother.
Oh, Dave, I got a great shrapnel story.
Yeah, you do.
I do.
All right.
Hey,
9
they
minutes.
found my books. Thank you. Did you put the link up there?
I
Alex,
did.
is that you?
I
You
did.
Thank you,
I
Danny.
think that's the first one, but that at least will get people to you on Amazon, and then
when you
others will
go
be
to that
underneath.
first one, if it's Hostile Takeover, the first novel, you
It
can
is.
look under my name and it says about the author or the author's page and click on that and it shows all my books there.
Yep.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
What did I miss?
Steve's coming.
Fuck your pure.
Steve's coming.
Yes.
He's
Put
my
that up.
favorite.
Yes.
Hey, you know what? Let's talk about motherfucking schools.
Oh, that is amazing.
No dogs, buddy.
So for those of you who haven't seen my show yet, one of the things I talk about on my show often, we have 4 kids and we homeschool. And the schools, the public school system, the freaking teachers union are an absolute tragedy. And one of the points that I make often is when I was still in public, because I attended a public school. I did. I even spent an extra year in high school because I'm a military brat, right? My family, we have put blood on literally every single battlefield in the history of the United States of America. It's the family business. It's what the fuck we do, right? But when I was in the public school, I spent an extra year there because of the weird shit that happens when you move a lot.
Credits don't transfer.
Not only that, Danny, when I got to the Georgia schools, I spoke Spanish fluently and could read and write in Latin. And I was made to take a foreign language class to meet my high school graduation requirements. So I just took fucking Spanish again because it was an easy pass. And that was part of why I did my final year of high school. I literally took 3 classes, all electives, botany, graphic design, and Spanish 3, I think it was. I would get to school at 10:30 in the morning because I opened my Papa John's stores that I was managing at the time before that. Anyway, the public school system, this is one of the points that I make frequently on our show.
6 minutes left.
Roger, when I was in public schools, the teachers had the common decency to just waste my fucking time. And now they have become an actual threat to our democracy.
Sure
They're
is.
a threat to the republic. They are causing active harm to our children. If you have children, get them the fuck out of the government schools and teach them at home. Right? Not everybody is a genius like Danny with her stack of fucking degrees, or like me and my wife with the half dozen fucking languages and a couple of degrees that we have. Not everybody is eminently qualified to teach, but please believe me, if you are raising children, you are more qualified than the public school system to instruct them in the basics of reading, writing, arithmetic, and fucking history.
Well, and
don't
Chris,
forget the fucking history.
I'm gonna grab a beer. Ready for
still
New
on?
Year.
Okay.
Is Larry's microphone still on?
I don't know.
Does anybody else have barking dogs in their house?
No, I don't.
Danny,
That's not my dogs.
I just called you brilliant, and I'll give you hot too. So
Thank you.
Bring it
I
on.
appreciate
What
it.
you got?
But Chris, to your point about homeschooling, even if somebody isn't equipped to homeschool, there are lots of resources now that are available if somebody wants to homeschool to help.
Oh, absolutely.
I'm sure you guys know that. I'm sure that you avail yourselves
Absolutely.
of lots of support.
In fact, let me. I'm pretty solid, right? I speak a bunch of languages. I've got degrees in philosophy, cinematography, and cryptologic lexicography. And if you even know what cryptologic lexicography is, I'll be surprised. Except for you, Danny, just because you know enough words to piece that
Right.
one together. Uh, and I mean, between the wife and I mean, we speak German, Spanish, Russian, Korean, Latin, and even a little Welsh and Gaelic. And my wife is working on learning Comanche because she is the kind of Indian that will genocide a motherfucking Arapaho. We've seen her do it because they were on the yard uninvited. Um, we're overqualified to the task of homeschooling, but it's also the case that we have shit to do.
Right.
I have clients, I have contracts, I have shit to do. So there are different groups that you can use. We have one that we pay. I don't know. I think we pay them $1,500 a semester to handle basic math. Um, they're teaching the Taekwondo classes because I make my kids do a lot of push-ups and sit-ups instead of spankings, but I've got them doing like Taekwondo because I need them to have a solid foundation before I can teach them more advanced stuff. I mean, I'm a black belt in Shaolin Kung Fu, got a career of U.S. military combat. I'm paying somebody else to do their basic combat training and tactical training. I'm paying someone else to do their very basic foundational mathematics. And some of it is I don't have time for it. Some of it is I get bored with it.
Right.
But it has been an absolute pleasure to engage my children. And frankly, my wife, hey baby, does more of the active schooling than I do. But doing the one-on-one conversations with the kids, I mean, guys, I would go so far as to say not only is the public school system a threat to our democracy and to our children, but if you're not doing the homeschooling thing, you are missing out on the relationship with your children, which are the most precious resource that we have. And I don't just mean that in the whole, we develop children to be productive young minds for the future. No. I will kill everybody on this planet if I suspect it will make my children happier. Every other life is forfeit, right? That dedication to your family has no valuation. There's no price can be put on it. We're at 1 minute, so I'm going to stop bloviating, and I'm going to kill this.
I cannot play Old Lang Syne because the last time I did, I got a copyright strike. Believe it or not, some motherfucker owns the rights to Old Lang Syne.
I thought that was public domain.
That's what I thought too, but we got a copyright strike for it. So
Yes,
You got
Alex is the
You
producer.
got copyright flag for playing your song you wrote.
I did, yes. Music I wrote, I got a copyright strike for it. But we
got 20 seconds. I want to tell you all a copyright flag story after we do the whole thing. Whatever
all
we're
right,
doing.
then. Here we go. 9, 8. So I know the timer's off, but whatever.
Shit, I'm
6,
trying to pour a
5,
beer.
4, 3, 2, 1.
Happy New Year, friends.
Okay.
I got this. I'm not
Happy
too
New
drunk
Year,
to pour a beer and
everyone.
kiss my wife. Kiss me. Plus, I can always clean up a mess and throw shit away.
Happy New Year, everybody. Thank you for being here with us. That's absolutely amazing. We appreciate it. Hopefully, Listen, hopefully we've provided some value for your money this evening. And hopefully you'll come back and spend some more time with us in this new year, 2022. So let's talk about 2022.
And if not, you can always ask for a refund. We'll be happy to refund your money.
That's right. That's
And
right.
hey, I've got plenty of beer left on this table. I can talk for a while.
Yeah, listen, I don't plan on going anywhere just yet because now
Me
we
neither.
can talk about 2022
Did I run over your
and
foot,
what
babe?
we expect.
I'm sorry.
I'll kick it off. I'll kick it off with the November election. What I consider to be the inevitable red wave and the taking back of power by Republicans. I think the House and
Love
the
you
Senate
too.
will flip to the Republican side. And Happy New Year, Larry. Welcome back.
Yeah, I'm back.
New
Y'all. I
Year,
had
Larry.
to go spend it with my wife, or I was going to get no
We heard
words.
your dogs the whole time.
Predictions for 2022. I think the Republicans are going to take back, obviously not the White House, but the House and the Senate. And I think things might be looking up for America after November. What about you all? What do you think is going to happen in 2022?
Totally agree.
Yep,
I
same.
think the red wave is on its way, and for the same reason, like I said earlier, already 23 Democrats have said we're not going to run for re-election, and that's without one single loss. And I think there's going to be lots of losses from the ones that do run. So I think they've had enough of the squad nonsense. I think they've had enough of this woke bullshit and this complete alternate reality they live in. And I think people, like Larry said earlier about the pandemic, I think people are just fed up. And they just pushing and keep pushing and keep pushing until there's a push back. And I think in November is that push back.
Hey, I'm sorry, baby. Hey, Patrick Brown says, okay, I've got my headphones on and I don't have my hearing aids in. If I'm drunk and shouting, I apologize. Patrick Brown says, well, folks, that's it for me. Happy New Year and much love. Patrick, real quick, sweetheart, don't be a bitch. We're not done here.
I hope that was at Patrick and not your wife.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, that was it. That was
my
it.
wife is right here.
She's
That
going to
was it,
shoot him on
Patrick.
camera.
That was, yeah. We're gonna see. We're gonna
Kill that
see a.
feed.
We're gonna see a
She's not
Lowry
that type of-
murdered on camera.
Who's done
she's not
their
that kind of
who's done their
squid.
predictions
She
so
would never
far, Al?
shoot
Just
me.
you?
Just me.
Matt Patrick,
The,
Happy
Oh,
New
me
Year.
and Dave. Me and Dave
and
Bowen.
Dave.
The treaty tomahawk, however, the treaty pipe that's on the wall, that's a definite possibility.
Shut up.
All right, Larry. What's your prediction for 2022?
I also my main thing that I had actually talked about earlier. I think that the COVID thing, people have had enough of it. I think definitely by third quarter, people are just we're done with it. What happens. They're finished. I also think we have the Republican wave, unless the Democrats are bold enough to do something that I believe that President Trump would have done with this inflationary stuff. I believe President Trump would have invoked price controls just like they did after World War II. I don't think Democrats are brave enough to do that this time. I think Trump would have been brave enough to do it. That's the only thing that I personally think could save Democrats if they were able to get inflation under control. And I think price controls are the only way to do that.
Okay. Chris Lowry
Dave?
is gone. Let's go to Dani. Dani, what are you expecting for the new year, 2022?
I agree with you to an extent. I think that there will be a red wave. I wish I agreed more that people are done with the lockdowns. I think that people are going to continue to be sort of scared of whatever it is the government tells them to be scared of. So if the government says you're still in danger, stay in your houses, or school your kids from home, or do whatever it is that they're telling them to do, I think a lot of people are going to continue to do that. But I do think that the Republicans are going to take the House and the Senate. So hopefully, I think Steve mentioned in the chat that they're going to take it, but do nothing with it. I hope that's wrong. But unfortunately, I think that remains to be seen.
I'll let you read that comment before you finish up.
2022, like I said, I will take shit from, and Jeff Holzhausen will attest, an Alabama fan will attest to the fact that I will take shit from Alabama fans, and everybody else, including DJ Scotty, can fuck straight off. DJ Scotty, who could, the only fact he could state about football was that cheerleaders are hot. So, which clearly he hasn't seen Alabama cheerleaders. Just gonna float that out there.
Danny, I have a question
round one
for
that's
Danny real
oblong,
quick.
right?
Yeah, go ahead.
Do you think, like I said, I think people are going to have enough, but I agree it could be regional, where you have like Republican stronghold states and such like that. They start walking away from the mandates and this and that, and it could be the Democrat held metropolises. They could be the ones, metro areas in the different states. They could be the ones that still are holding out to the COVID stuff. But I think it could end up being regional. It could be political ideology could play a hand in it.
I think that regionally, and I think we're seeing this, that I saw it driving across the country, that rules are different and the way people act in different places are different regionally. But I think whatever the rules are, people are going to follow those rules wherever they are. So if the rules are you have to mask up, I think people are going to be mad about it, but they're going to mask up. They're going to do whatever the rules in their area say. And it's, if they, like we've seen, like the DA in Kenosha North, Waukesha, that let the multiple times convicted felon out of jail, who then plowed his car through a parade, and now people are like, well, that guy shouldn't be DA. The governor should get rid of him. You elected him, so people probably are going to continue to elect officials that are going to make rules that make them mad, but I think they're still going to follow rules because we are for the most part, a rule following society. So, I think that whatever the rules are, wherever they are, people are going to follow them. And if they don't like them, they're just going to be mad about it.
Yeah. Brian says boomer talk. Hey, listen, the oldest of us here are Gen X, the best generation, with that beyond the shadow of any doubt. I'm going to guess by Brian's photograph, he's probably a member of Gen X. We're the best. We will always be the best. Fuck the boomers. Fuck the millennials. Fuck Gen Z.
Oh, fuck the millennials with the boomers cocks. Like, fuck the millennials.
There you go.
Damn.
There you go.
Hey, I take it back. I said earlier about resolutions that I make no promises about my behavior for the next year, for 2022. I forgot. I will promise here and now to write another book. And I got one in the mail today. This one right here. Can you see that?
Hang on. Let me enlarge this.
This one came in the mail
I was about
today.
to say, that's a Tennessee flag.
Tennessee Waltz is the name of the book.
Nice.
See? That's me.
That is you.
That's me right there. That came in the mail today because it went on sale 2 weeks ago, and I've got another one called Insubordination that is going to go on sale next week. But I do promise to write another book next year as my resolution.
There you go.
This year, you're in the Eastern time.
This year now.
It's this year to you.
That's
this
what I'm saying.
Now. I have no resolution other than to quote. Have you all seen that show on Apple TV about the soccer coach, the American who goes to England to be a football coach, soccer coach?
The intern is watching that.
What is I can't remember the name of the show.
Frankly,
whatever, it doesn't matter. There's a character in that. There's a line he says, "My only regret is that I didn't tell more people to fuck off." That's my New Year's resolution. I'm going to be less sensitive of people's feelings.
Ted Lasso.
Ted Lasso, thank you. I'm going to be less sensitive of people's feelings, and I'm going to say what the fuck. I'm of an age where I can say what the hell I want to say.
Less sensitive. Can you be less sensitive?
He can.
Is it possible to be less sensitive?
Gonna give it a good try.
Just to let you know, Al, both the candidates that I'm representing, both part of their platforms is to protect female sports.
There you go.
And Danny, sensitivity is a trait of the vegan cuck fucking millennial shitburger Soy Boy.
Man bun wearing.
Hey, Drunky McDrunkerson, I was simply commenting on the fact that Alex has zero sensitivity already, so I'm not sure how one goes into the negative in sensitivity.
No,
I mean,
the
if
only-
it's
the
possible,
only
Alex is
people-
the one that's going to be able to do it, so
No, Alex has been sensitive
don't
to
mansplain
trannies.
sensitivity to me. I got it.
Alex
Megan,
has been
hey,
sensitive
I
to
wanna-
tranny.
Hold
Alex
on,
has been
Megan.
sensitive
Megan
to
is
trannies, and hopefully that sensitivity goes away this year.
Megan-
That's what I want to say.
Megan's calling it a night. We love you,
Megan's-
sweetheart. Thanks
yeah.
for watching.
Thank you so much, Megan.
And actually, hey, not just thanks for watching, Megan. Give us a call. We need to get the kids together soon. You're like 3 feet away down the fucking street from me. We need to let the monkeys run on the fucking trampolines. And
So she can
have
probably
some
hear
fun
you
with
then.
that. And
right.
And while I've got just a second of your attention, what's his face homeboy that says something about Brian Rich with the boomer talk. You know, fuck you, shitburger. In fairness, this beard is a liar. This is 4 kids in a desert war. Okay, I'm 40 years old. This is my hot young wife.
Chris is the youngest one here.
He's
Sit
only
there
40.
Sit there and suffer in envy because I'm an old fucking murder machine that got old too early.
Face like
Too much
God.
murder machining in the fucking terrorist sandbox where we have to feed sand spiders to camel cunts just to save your motherfucking constitutional freedoms. You sad sack of fuck you.
All right, there you go.
That's Brushfire Mind, by the way.
God,
Find them. Yeah, bro. BFM on YouTube, youtube.com/The Brushfire Mind every morning at 7:30.
7:30 a.m. Eastern time.
Go subscribe.
He's a little less belligerent in the morning.
Not
I'm
much.
drinking just coffee and not coffee flavored beer.
Yeah.
I'm curious. Hold up that whiskey bottle.
Oh, you mean my not sharing size? It's Maker's
Mark.
Okay, it's not as empty as the last show we did together.
Oh my God, no. Yeah, good job, Fee.
No, that's because I've had
God, the last show they both got straight shitty.
Oh God, absolutely wasted. You've had how many beers? 12 beers.
Okay, guys, check this out. That show, the show that you're talking about, was when Rush Limbaugh passed away.
Yes.
And I had not intended to get as shitty as I got. I got sloppy shitty. And what happened was I had a bottle of good scotch. I don't remember if it was the Macallan or the Glenfiddich or the Glenmorangie, but I had a bottle of good scotch. And what I did is every time it got a little low, I just filled the glass up. I wasn't paying attention. I got blizzitsed. After the show that night, I was obliterated. And I had one of my dark times, which means I sat here and kept drinking, and I listened to a bunch of war hymns, like the band played Waltzing Matilda, and I sat here and cried into the glass that was left in front of me. This is when Rush Limbaugh passed away. This is a big fucking deal for me.
He'd have
I'm
been
actually
proud
getting a
of
little
you.
misty just talking about it. And I ran the fuck out of cigarettes. I ran out of cigarettes. And so I went upstairs to put my pants on because I had my keys and my wallet in them, and to go get smokes. And I knew I was too drunk to drive. My plan was to call an Uber and get a ride to the gas station, buy smokes, come home. Right. And my lovely wife, who is a dangerous individual in her own right, not to mention just how a Comanche will genocide a motherfucker on getting on the wrong side of the lawn. I went upstairs, put on my clothes so that I could call an Uber and go get smokes. And she stopped me. I was like, baby. I'm not so drunk that I'm stupid. I'm not going to try to drive to the gas station. No. You do it. You sit down. Okay, baby. And so I picked up the baby, Eleanor. She was about a year old at the time, and she cried and pitched a temper tantrum the whole time. But my lovely wife went to the gas station, got me a carton of cigarettes, And I said, hey, babe, while you're out, will you grab me a 6-pack of Guinnesses too? And she did. And I only drank 2 of them. In fairness, I only drank 2 of them. The other 4 sat around until Cameron drank them, apparently. But that night that Rush died, guys, I ain't gonna lie. I got in my PTSD a little bit and was listening to some serious war hymns and a hell of a lot of Amazing Grace on the bagpipes and fell asleep on my viewing sofa in the basement. I have
Well,
a
that
viewing
was Rush
sofa.
Limbaugh. What is tonight for Betty White?
Dude, the passage of Betty White is it a crime? Is it a crime to wish the chewing of an officer fuck meat? I ain't gonna lie, I'm gonna miss Betty White.
I am too, man. I fell in love with her when she was in Lake Placid. Did you ever see Lake Placid?
Yeah, well, that's Dave. That's exactly what I'm talking about.
Is it
illegal to wish the chewing of an officer?
Yeah.
Thank you very much, Officer Fuck Meat.
Because the sheriff was searching her property for this huge alligator that she raised, and she said, "I'm rooting for the crocodile. I hope he swallows all your friends whole."
And Oliver Platt in that movie, everybody out of the tent. Well,
he was great.
Hold on, Sheriff. This one and I were hoping to mate.
It's a great movie.
The Earth is round, and so should you be.
Jesus.
Yeah. She was 18
if
days
you haven't
before
seen
her
Lake
100th
Placid,
birthday.
yeah, for everybody out there, okay, we've celebrated the midnight. We've been past the ball. I've kissed the wife. It's beautiful, beautiful. Oh, if you haven't already seen Lake Placid, you should stop watching this show and go unfuck yourself right now.
I'll tell you what I'm waiting for, and it's never going to happen. But if it does, I'm going to be bidding on it. Rush Limbaugh had a RE20 microphone, an Electro Voice RE20, but it was gold. And I don't know if it's solid gold or gold plated. I'm hoping gold plated, because if it ever goes up for auction, I will be bidding on that motherfucker. I will replace my SM7B with an RE20 if it's Rush Limbaugh's gold RE20.
It was a beautiful bitch.
Yeah.
I got to say, though, your shit right now sounds great.
Yeah, I mean, Danny and I, we use good. Listen, SM7B is they're just a fucking mainstay of the market. You know, it's what Michael Jackson used to record Thriller. They're just great broadcast microphones. The RE20 is also a great broadcast microphone. You know, you buy them retail $400, $500. I think $499 for an RE20. Rush Limbaugh's probably
they're on sale for $359 right now.
Yeah, there you go. Rush Limbaugh's mic will probably go for $10,000.
I'd say more than that.
Probably, quite frankly, probably more than that. But yeah, the golden microphone.
Wait a minute. So Vincent Price's awesome ass monologue preceding Thriller was done on your microphone?
Yep.
Well, that's pretty kick fucking ass right there.
Yeah, the Shure SM7B. Fantastic broadcast mic.
I'm deaf plus headphones.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
I'm trying not to shout at you.
But yeah, the RE20 is great. Scotty actually uses Electro Voice mics. He uses the RE320s in his studio. That's why he gets such good sound over at Just for Fun Radio.
I probably sound like shit. I can't hear myself, but I'm using a crappy laptop microphone, an Acer laptop, no less, microphone. So
yeah,
I mean, great, but it's not awful.
Well, I got a pretty sweet fucking voice, Danny. You know that, baby.
That's true. That's what it is. It's not
it cleans up some shit.
Yes.
That shit right there sells itself.
Yeah, it's the material.
I'm curious to see if you can actually buy a gold EV RE-20.
Alex, I just checked. I don't have them on Amazon.
Right. Right.
Oh,
I
but
mean,
there's
there's no point there. Even if they did, there's no point buying a gold one unless you can get Rush Limbaugh's gold microphone.
Exactly.
But yeah, they're listen. RE20s are fantastic mics. That's the that's an RE20 right there. They're
yeah.
absolutely brilliant.
That's
I mean,
the other one everybody uses.
yeah, Ben Shapiro uses that mic. And then they're great microphones, but yeah, Rush's gold version. Again, I don't know if Electro Voice made that for him custom. I don't know if it's solid gold. I don't know if it was gold plated. I have no idea. But what a beautiful mic, and how good did that thing sound? Rush sounded good.
An Electro Voice, what was it? RE20?
RE20.
Yeah.
No,
I think there's a documentary, I think, on Amazon called "The Man Behind the Gold Microphone" or "The Man with the EIB Gold Microphone," something like that. Check it out.
Now I get pretty good results out of my Blue Snowball, which is frankly a cheaper kind of prosumer level microphone.
Yeah, they do well.
Yeah, I mean the BFM has gotten great results out of that Blue Snowball for almost 6 years.
Oh sure.
I do have better microphones. But like Alex, you and I have talked about this. Like I'm coming to you through a freaking Logitech webcam right now. I own a Canon 80D. I've got a Panasonic X2200 camcorder. I've got a bunch of G85s. I have cameras coming out of my ass.
Oh yeah, you have
own and
some
operate
absolutely
decent amount of video.
amazing video equipment, and you use a webcam.
Right. Well, and quite simply, it's because I do the daily show at 7:30 every day, and we do a half hour. And the reason we do that is because I'm running a full-time production business. Outside of that, I don't use any of my DSLRs, camcorders, or any of those other higher grade cameras for my daily YouTube show, because what you're looking for when you come to just a YouTube talk show is not the picture quality at that level, right? So the this webcam right here, this is a $60 webcam that runs in 1080p or 4K, and the picture is beautiful. I mean, look at my hot young wife; she looks fantastic without makeup.
She does.
I have a hot young wife that's so sexy she doesn't have to wear makeup, and that's half the reason I married her.
Dude, you way outkicked your coverage. You might want to watch what you say.
Yeah.
Danny, no shit. I walked up to this woman on a military installation and said, I judge you of the quality to bear my spawn. Would you like to get a cup of coffee? We've been married for 14 years and have 4 children. We argued about how many children we were going to have. And
that's because
she
thinks you're of the quality to have coffee with her.
Hey, Dave, let me give you a little illustration here. You ready?
No.
Imagine squeezing 4 Lowrys.
I know, dude. Look at the size of his head. Fee, what were you thinking?
It's ridiculous to even think about. Those are like 18-pound spawns.
Oh my god, like
Danny,
bowling balls.
Her 11-year-old is 5'7", 5'8".
7.
She's gigantic. Our 11-year-old is taller than my wife, who is quite a bit younger than I am.
Christ. I don't even know where to go from there. I'm going to ask this question. I'm going to ask this question. You said you have a black belt in what, Shaolin Kung Fu? Is that what you said?
Yes, one of my black belts is in Shaolin Kung Fu.
Your wife is 5'8". Is that what you said?
What are you, 5 foot? You're 5'6".
5'6". Can you kick as high as that?
Yes.
I have a problem believing that, to be honest with you.
Or you can do it in theory.
I could do it right now in front of the camera. I'm not drunk enough to misunderstand the spatial requirements here between the desk and everything without moving the camera. I would
Let's face
kick
the
the
truth,
desk
Chris.
trying to get the kick.
Let's face the truth. You could do it once.
We also actually don't need we don't need a woman kicked in the face on the show, because that's guaranteed to get us taken down.
Right.
And in all fairness, the over the head kick, I mean, I look gigantic in my studio because my ceiling is an inch and a half away from the top of my head. This is a
We
finished
can't even
basement.
see the ceiling, and you still look
Well,
gigantic.
yeah,
Exactly.
and he's such an ogre. Like when I'm standing by him, all he has to do is like lift his leg up a little bit, and he's kicking over my head. So
Actually, Danny, I just want to let you know, I think you are actually on the wrong mic.
am I?
Yeah.
And you know, Danny and I just met each other recently, and Danny, you'll appreciate this. My mom I was talking to my mom earlier today, and she was telling me for the first time about running into you at the Chinese restaurant.
Mention
And
that. Is that better, Al?
Oh yeah, that's
Okay.
a million times better. Thank
Sorry.
you.
So she
That's okay.
didn't know that you and I had run into each other the following morning at the GOP breakfast, and that was pretty funny.
How could you know if it was a phone? Never mind.
Yeah, I met like all the rest of your people before I met you. I mean, in 3D. Well, although I said you were 5D because you're so fucking big.
Yes.
But yeah, they bought us lunch.
Yeah. And
I had
by
a-
the way, I'm going to use this to
One thing with
interject for Andrew James. Andrew, if you didn't notice the difference in quality in Danielle's audio there, go
Yeah,
back and re-listen, and that will convince you to spend the money on a good microphone.
Yeah, I think here's the
Yes.
On. That's a Yeti. Is that what it sounded like before?
Yeah, that's where you were.
How awful is that? Because I moved my mic. That's the one I use for class.
Right.
There's a big difference.
I mean, I would never use this mic for class because I wave my hands around too much.
Right. Switch back though.
I'm doing it.
But I was looking when you said the RE20 there, you know, that what is it? The RSP on that is like $1,200, but you can get them for $850.
No, our RE20s are like $499, and they're on. Chris said they're on sale right now for $350.
The Electrolux one,
Electro Voice EV RE20s.
that one.
Yep.
Yeah.
Huh.
Yeah,
Well,
on Amazon. On Amazon, they were on sale.
Yeah, they're not. They're not super expensive. They are fantastic mics for the money, and for most people, it's a toss up, right, between the SM7B and the RE20. I'm finding them right now for $450 on Amazon.
So I was on Terramiro Music. Electro Voice RE20, their price $869.
Oh, they're screwing you.
Suggested retail price $11.99.
Oh yeah, they are. That's remarkably rapey.
Well, fuck that.
Yeah. Yeah. Don't ever pay more than $500 for an RE20. Never pay more than $500 for an SM7B. And listen, there were some wonderful
the exact
mics.
same one. You're right. It's the exact same one.
Yep.
God damn, that's $400 cheaper.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, real quick. Hey, I see Steve Rodemeyer said, I have a few credentials. I got my ass kicked in Krav Maga for a couple of years. Guys, I have personally seen in person Steve Rodemeyer push the pink weenie, which is a fucking braided cable that's this big around. The fucking thing weighs 10 pounds per foot. I have seen this one-eyed motherfucker shove that heavy, destructive son of a bitch through miles of pipe in commercial and industrial applications, to include, I shit you not, that time that he and I installed the wiring fucking harness on the new International Convention Center at the Atlanta Jackson Hartsfield Airport. I got a couple of credentials. Steve Rodemeyer will eat your motherfucking lunch.
So wait a minute.
Man.
You watched Steve shove the pink weenie in the pipe? What?
it always sounds weird to you, Dave, because you're not an electrician. If you had skills,
Gotcha.
it would
No.
sound terrifying.
None of those.
Right.
Hey, Alex, where do I get the link for somebody to come in on video?
To come in on video, let me bring it up on the screen. And
because Legion wants to get a bite of this ass.
Let me bring up on the screen. And Andrew, okay, so I'm going to sell some mics right now. CAD microphones are fantastic. The CAD E100, I think, is one of the absolute best microphones anyone can buy. But again, it's a bit pricey. It's a $500 mic. If anybody, me personally, I wouldn't look at Blue microphones. They've been bought out by Logitech and the quality has gone to shit. If you're looking for a really good microphone at a really, really good price, look at the Audio-Technica AT2020. You can pick it up for about $100. It's an XLR mic, so you're going to have to pair it to a audio interface of some kind. Dani, what is your interface you're running? It's a Scarlett, right?
Yes. Sorry, go ahead.
That's okay. Pair it up with a Scarlett audio interface, and you're going to have remarkably good sound for a very reasonable price. The AT2020 Audio-Technica 2020. If you want to stick with CAD, I would highly recommend the CAD I think it's the CAD E100, which is a remarkable mic. It's more geared for voiceover work than broadcast work, but it's a fantastic microphone. Lewitt makes some great mics. The Lewitt 240, I think that's what David Foster uses. He wasn't able to drop in tonight, but I think that's what he uses as a mic. It's about $250. It's a great mid-range option. But audio really does make a difference, brother. It really does. People will tolerate bad video. They are less forgiving of bad audio.
I got a lot of trouble once for sticking my microphone interface. Oh, did I say that out loud? Sorry.
You're nasty.
It was on stage, so I, shouldn't have done it.
Probably shouldn't have done it.
Right. So Legion, what are you saying, that Legion wants to come in on video and you two are just going to battle it out?
No, I think he's going to come in and run his mouth, but Legion's a special kind of character.
They'll make kissy faces.
And if he pops in, I'm gonna have to tell the story of the time that I was forced by the U.S. government to hit Legion repeatedly with a Q-tip.
You don't have to.
It was a giant Q-tip.
You don't have to.
Right.
And it was awesome.
You don't have to.
And I felt a little guilty.
Let me
but only a little guilty.
Not guilty enough not to do it?
Andrew, if you want the Rodecaster Pro, I highly recommend
They
it.
could have sent me to fucking prison if I didn't do it, Danny. So
Valid.
I pretty much had to hit him. But he shit himself a lot, so we moved on.
I use a Rodecaster Pro paired up with a whatever, the Stream Deck XL, whatever it is, and the SM7B, and this is kind of quality I get out of it. Danielle's using an SM7B with a Scarlett
Solo?
I don't remember. Solo something or other.
Focusrite, I think, is who makes it. It's the Scarlett Solo.
Yeah. Steve is here. What's going on, brother? Happy New Year.
Steve motherfucking Rodemeyer.
Hey, friend.
Hey, man.
My
Happy New
man.
Year. Can you hear us?
You got awful quiet there, old one eye. Oh, he's putting his fucking.
There you go. Put your ears in. Put your ears in so you can hear us.
I love you too.
Turn your microphone on.
Turn your mic on.
Testing 1 2.
There you go. We got you. We got you. Happy New Year, brother. Welcome to the show. Happy New Year.
Aloha, my ninja.
Andrew, Andrew says, if you don't mind me asking, what kind of camera? Andrew, I use a Sony Alpha 6400 with a Sigma 16 millimeter f1.4 lens.
I know it's my shit.
Danny is using a Sony ZV-1, and listen, Restream limits us to 720p. So Danielle, none of us look as, quite frankly, as good as we should look. But that's what we use. I'm using an A6400. Danny's using a ZV-1. Chris is using a potato cam.
Hey, I got a fucking Reagan calendar back here next to the Georgia Capitol. I look pretty fucking good.
Yes, you are. I mean, that's the
Plus,
best.
I've got a hot dog wife.
Quite frankly, that's the best argument I've heard for using a potato cam right there. It's brilliant.
Hey, I've got a degree in philosophy. Don't fuck with me. Bring your arguments. Let's play that
Did
game.
I have a master's degree in philosophy?
And I differ. I do look as good as I can.
Okay, Danny, I have a degree in cryptologic lexicography. Fuck with that shit.
Nobody
Larry,
gives a
is
fuck.
this-
Fuck with that
Fuck
shit.
is that anyway? Studying.
Literally,
Alex,
nobody
that's-
gives a shit that either of us has any
that's it.
degrees in philosophy.
I know. That's
or
the
any of the
comedy.
rest of our useless schooling.
Jesus.
So what?
Did you see
what does
that?
that mean, Chris?
Yeah.
Practically, what does that mean in practicality? You can read what, cave drawings?
Cryptologic lexicography is the science of breaking codes and then writing
That was going to be my first guess. Fuck.
and then writing a
It was.
dictionary.
So
Hang
his
on,
dirty
hang
ass
on.
could read Elvish.
No, it's breaking codes and then writing a dictionary that can be used by other intelligence operatives to understand the code that you've broken.
Awesome.
So that I can steal the secrets from a foreign country, and then I can hand off a document to somebody else who steals secrets from a foreign country.
Sure, you create
so
the
they can just
key.
copy so that it's key copying. It's key creating.
Gotcha. That was going to be my first fucking guess, I swear. I thought I'd be funny with the cave drawings, but never mind.
Hey, Dave, Kuroshiman. Ha, 그것은 비밀이있습니다.
You thought you would be funny, Dave, but you actually weren't far off. It's
You
like
know?
cave drawings, but in books.
You know, right.
With keys.
Actually,
Legion!
Dave, check this out.
Alex
My
has got
degree
the
in
tornado.
philosophy, my degree in film, I went to get a degree in philosophy, and they had a random film competition, and I won it by accident. So I switched to a double major, and that's how I ended up with my degree in film.
This is the tornado that came ripping through Conyers right before we went live. Apparently, I had absolutely no idea that happened. Went
Did
through
you really?
Covington.
I was going to text you and make sure you were okay, but you were sending out directions for the show, so I figured you were fine.
We've got gals.
I had absolutely no idea that was even going on.
From us, wasn't it, Al?
Yeah, that's just up the road from us.
We lost
Legion. Legion's with us. Legion's here. It looks like Lowry ran away as soon as Legion logged in. So I'm going to call that a win right there for Legion.
Damn, I didn't think Legion was. I didn't think
there
Legion was coming in. I was about to go pee on my bushes and smoke a cigarette.
We're old friends.
Old friends and family. Is that what you said?
Mario, your connection sucks.
Anyway, you don't hear me, right?
Barely, a little bit.
You're breaking up. We're going to need Chris to decrypt it.
Handle this many people on it.
It should be good. Go ahead.
Go ahead and talk, Legion. We're not.
Yeah, I see his connection.
There he
I
is.
see his,
My connection should be strong. I don't know what's going on. Anyway, look, I'm just going to speak for about 1 minute and to say that 2022 and the twin doesn't want any change of what's the current vector of society. So, is your new solution? I don't care if you vaccinated. I haven't even been there now. Was the time of idiots. You will stop participating in mad society. You will disconnect from it completely. You will not participate. You will not get boosted. You will not get tested. You will not comply. If in 30% decide that they were over.
I get the gist of it. It was breaking up a little bit. We got the gist of it. I don't necessarily disagree with you. We got Steve trying to log back in. Steve, it's not coming through, man. I'm seeing you and I'm adding you to the stream, but we're getting no video from you whatsoever, brother. Pardon me, getting no video from you whatsoever.
Hey,
Where'd
Legion.
Lowry go?
Hey, Legion, I heard what you said there about that, and I agree with you, but what did you say the percentage was of the people that would need to do that for this whole thing to go away?
30%.
Okay, that's what I thought he said.
Yeah, he's not wrong.
No, he's not.
He's not wrong. If 30% of the population said, we're just not going to comply, we're just not going to do what you tell us to do, there's absolutely nothing the government can do about that.
No, that's too many people for internment camps.
Yep.
So,
Yep. Far too many. Yeah, no, he's not wrong. And I think we lost him there anyway, but thank you, brother. Happy New Year. Appreciate you coming
Happy
in.
New Year, Legion.
Larry missed you. Larry conveniently missed you.
No, I could hear him. I had my headphones on.
Ran away. Lowry ran away. As
we
soon
could hear
as
you pee
Legion-
in the bushes too.
Yeah,
That's fair.
Yeah, heard you out there trembling is what we
See,
heard.
I got up to go pee in the bushes, and I had muted my mic the last couple times I did that because it's right there. It's convenient.
Right.
We've had some plumbing problems recently.
There's probably a possum in the bushes who would disagree, but go ahead.
Hey, Dave, you know what, man? Easy. No, that's easy. Fuck him.
Fuck him.
Now, what Mario was saying,
I think that's illegal in Georgia.
I hope so.
It's called the Dave Bowen Act. No, I'm kidding.
At least before you shoot him. Anyway, what Legion was saying about resisting and not wearing a mask, et cetera, et cetera. I was shooting a place it was an apartment that was for sale. Last week. Yeah, last week. And there was this little guy. I shit you not. This guy was wearing a T-shirt that said, "I've been vaccinated," and a mask with a political affiliation on it. He followed me around the apartment building, demanding to know if I had been vaccinated.
You told this story already.
And well, I know, Dave, I know. But just I want to
Welcome
put
to
you in the
Fee's
right
world.
context. I have started treating this is how I'm dealing with it. If you're wearing a mask, I am going to treat you, because this is the CDC guideline. Masks do not protect you from catching the disease. Wearing a mask prevents you from spreading the disease if you have it and might spread droplets. So anytime I encounter a person in a mask, I begin with the assumption that they are sick. I assume that this person is wearing a mask because they are a courteous, kind person who is interested in preventing me from getting sick by virtue of their spitting or sneezing directly into my mouth. I insist that that person maintain his 6 foot distance from me.
You could assume the same thing
that
about
person
people who
is sick.
quarantine.
Yes.
You could assume the same thing about people who quarantine. You don't quarantine well people, you quarantine sick people.
Correct. So if you encounter a person in a mask, you treat them like they are a direct threat to your personal
Yeah,
health.
fuck you,
Because
Typhoid
there is
Mary.
no reason, according to the
Mary.
CDC, there is no reason to wear a mask unless you yourself are infected and
That's right.
a threat to spread.
Fucking Typhoid
Legion.
Karen can kiss it.
Well, if I'm
Legion.
not mistaken, the CDC are now saying that cloth masks are ineffective against Omicron anyway. Larry, I think Larry's going to be leaving us. Larry, you're heading out, brother.
I'm heading out, guys. I'm way past my bedtime.
All
Happy
right,
New
man.
Year, Larry. Love
Happy
you.
New Year,
Sweet
brother.
dreams, Larry.
guys.
You be safe, brother.
I
Thank
will
you
be,
for hanging
and,
out with
I'll,
us.
and I'll be on
Oh,
Sunday night.
plus.
Thank you, brother.
You got it.
So thing one,
we
Legion,
have to
unfuck
do-
yourself. Turn your phone
and
this way.
mask. Yeah.
Your audio's breaking up, brother. We didn't catch that. Say it again.
I think he said I've been doing that for the past year.
Is that better?
Legion, you are once again insufficient. Unfuck yourself and turn your phone into the landscape position. It's happening again.
I'm guessing unfuck yourself is an army deal.
Oh yeah.
Kind of like FUBAR.
Look.
Our friend Joyce here. Hey,
I mean,
friend.
I'm gonna start calling him the
You've been wearing the
sockless Legion.
N95 mask for years at this point, okay? The N95 mask is what? It's a 5-micron filter, and it does not have insulated edges, so it actually has no micron virus. It's been pointless from the beginning. It's just we've all given the basically the show trial the whole country's been put upon.
The Fauciisms. You know, Fauci is the highest paid member of our federal government, and he is going to receive as a federal retirement package more money than anybody in
Joy.
American history.
Yeah. I had to go break the seal. Sorry, fellas.
And he sure did get the AIDS pandemic right, didn't he?
The
Yeah, he did.
motherfucker
Boy,
hadn't
howdy.
seen, the motherfucker hadn't seen a patient in 40 years, and he's our top doctor. Fuck you.
It was
Yo,
nice
I ain't gonna
knowing
lie.
you,
I
you
drink
two.
a lot more beer than I thought I was gonna drink, and my wife took my whiskey away.
Good move.
Yeah.
I may be sleeping on the client couch tonight.
Good move. We were going to have to hear another story about the French guy who dropped the rifle again.
Hey, that shit was hilarious.
I know. I heard it. I heard you tell it last year on your show. I love that story. Especially that after you told him that, he went, "Okay, well, thank you very much for your help." And he hung up.
All right, Steve's back. Hopefully he can hear us, and hopefully we can hear him once he gets his mic turned on.
But God, it's been so long since I've done shit like that.
We can hear you now, buddy.
Man,
okay.
Cool.
We got you.
Good to see you,
Okay.
Steve. I've never seen you before, buddy.
Hey, buddy.
Yeah, it's not exactly the face that goes with the commentary.
That's all right, man. You're a handsome fella.
Yeah, I know.
I know.
Humble too.
Just like Lowry.
Listen, we're going to start wrapping this up because Danielle hasn't actually celebrated New Year yet, being up in Minnesota and an hour behind. So we're going to
Not Minnesota.
Yeah,
Minnesota.
we're going to start wrapping this up so she can go celebrate New Year with the intern. Do you have friends over, Danny?
No.
Okay, so we're not dragging
No,
you
dude, it
away
was a
from that.
Georgia game. I can't be around the public during a Georgia
She
game.
cannot. She can't be around the private.
So
Yeah.
no. So a friend of ours who knows better brought his cousin over during a Georgia game a couple years ago, and the intern has a Bluetooth speaker in the kitchen because our house it's just so open that the anyway, we have a Bluetooth speaker in the kitchen. So I was sitting in the living room right in front of the TV, and they were in the kitchen and they were talking. So I kept turning up the TV during the game because they were fucking talking. And Kurt said, every time you turn that up, it turns up in here. I said, well, if y'all would shut the fuck up, I wouldn't have to. And they all kind of looked at me and they're like, okay, sorry.
And the cousin's never been back, I'm
I
sure.
was like, yeah, well, it wasn't his fault. It was the friend's fault who knew better than to bring somebody around me during a Georgia game.
That's funny. Hey, Bill Campbell said thank you to me for something. I'm not sure what it's for, Bill, but you're welcome, my friend.
I think it was for reminding Chris that he told the same story like 4 times.
Oh,
we all know this.
It wasn't for him, but okay.
No, it's
Not
Yeah,
4 times
Charlotte,
on this
thank you
show.
for the time
It
check.
was just a
I
couple
didn't
of
catch
times.
why he was thanking me, but you're welcome.
I also get to give Chris a bit of shit, so you know.
Oh, please do.
Yeah.
Oh, no, you're right, Andrew. I've watched the Dogs game with Danielle many times, and she can't not be in public. She cannot be in private.
Yeah, that's
during
true.
those
And
games.
Dave and Alex have seen me. I mean, that's not pissed, but Dave and Alex have seen me truly pissed. Like I mean, not at them, but yeah, they have seen the true wrath.
Oh, I've seen you pissed at me.
I mean, not really
but I've
pissed,
seen you raging over football.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's not pretty, and I'm not proud of it. But
I've seen Danielle really, really mad, really, really mad twice in my life. Once was definitely a Georgia game. I can't remember who it was against. And the other, and I'll just say this to Danielle, so just she gets it. She can share if she wants, but the other, and she won't. The other was about she was reading a magazine one day, and she saw a photo in there that made her really fucking angry.
No, that's not how I found that out. I found out because an ex-boyfriend pointed out to me there was a picture of me in a magazine. I'm getting red just look at my face. I'm getting red just thinking about
Oh, you were so fucking pissed.
that there was a picture of me in a magazine that I didn't know existed. I don't even know if Alex knows this story. Yeah. No, that's how I found out about that. Yes, that was a blind rage. Anyway, yeah.
You showed me the magazine, and I went, "That's you," and you went, "Yep," and I went, "All right."
So, see, yeah, yes. Picture that should not have been in an ad was in an ad. Anyway,
somebody
we'll
stole
that there.
Somebody stole the photograph from somebody else and published it in a magazine without her permission, and she was fucking bent.
Yeah, I was livid. Made a lot of money off of it, but I was still, it was a violation. I mean, I was what, 20, maybe 24 years old?
Maybe. Were you going to some private school at the time? Or I don't know. You wore that Catholic school skirt a lot. I know that back then. So
that was just bad choices.
That was pretty fucking awesome.
Okay. Anyway,
I've said for a while, if you would just show those puppies off more, we'd have way more
weren't we wrapping
subscribers.
this up?
We'd have way more subscribers. That's all I'm saying.
It was an awesome picture.
I thought we were wrapping this up.
All right, we are going to wrap this up. Chris Lowry, the Brushfire Mind. Check them out over on YouTube. Well, any channel, to be honest with you. I think we're broadcasting right now to like 9 of his channels. So
that's correct.
Find him pretty much anywhere. Dave Bowen, JD Bowen, over on Amazon.com. You can find him in the book section. Do a search for JD Bowen. John, I don't know what just happened there, but go find Dave's books and buy those. Support artists. And Danielle and myself, the Politek Show. Find us on YouTube, and you know what? If you like it, subscribe. If you don't. That's as simple as I can put
pretty
it.
much all we got for you.
Really.
Andrew James.
Happy New Year, everybody.
Andrew James asked, "Is there a Politek OnlyFans?" That's what I was laughing about.
Oh yeah, no, not yet. Not yet. There isn't. No,
Danny, I hope that's for you and not an insistence that Alex engage in some Jack Murphy shit.
Right. All right. Happy New Year, friends. Let's get out of here.
Danny, Happy New Year. Love you. Dave, Happy New Year.
Love you guys.
Bye. Love
Chris,
you guys.
Fee, love you. Happy New Year. Thank you
Good
for
night,
being
guys.
here.
Love you. Thanks for having us. Thanks for hosting this, Alex. This was fucking awesome.
Yeah, it was awesome, Al.
Yeah, and listen, we'll do it again, another special occasion. Everybody, really appreciate you. Thank you so much for sticking with us. We love you. We appreciate you. And hopefully we'll see you Monday night on the Politek Show.
We should do this once a month and call it the Polikertech.
There you go.
Just get shit-faced and talk politics.
There you go.
5
guys,
love you. Al, I'll
thanks
talk
so
tomorrow.
much. Love you. Good night, Danny. See ya.
Love you. Bye.
Did you see the